to the Brilliant Minds of Idiots show.
Season, so it's good to get it out.
It's the beginning of summer. It's the beginning of summer.
Because basketball season is short.
He's partying.
Basketball season short.
Yeah, but you know who?
Back at it
yeah, it is true. But you know who got suspended that I didn't know and we've all kind of forgot about?
Larry Sanders.
No, nobody gives a fuck about Larry. OJ Mayo.
I didn't know. Oh yeah, I forgot.
He had the same suspension that Tyreek Evans got. A 2 year suspension.
I was kind of wondering why he was out of the league.
Yeah, but he could apply for reinstation last year and he just never did.
Reinstation.
Did you guys know what the fuck I meant?
Then don't be a dick about it.
Yeah, you knew what the fuck I meant. Reinstation.
That shit's still funny.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. I did. When I said it, I was like, no. What we did, we had to resupply the station, so we just say reinstation in the service. In the service, we're gonna start. We're gonna start episode 9 a little different.
9-ish.
11.
I know. It's 11 for you, but the people don't care and they don't know. So don't do this. We're gonna start this a little different. We're gonna start this a little different. This is Ghost.
Shoes.
This is Ghost theme song.
I don't ever do shit at work.
Hey!
Ride up and down these goddamn hours. Ride up and down these goddamn hours. I don't ever do shit at work.
Yeah.
I don't ever do shit at work.
Come on, Ghost.
I'm in here just stealing company time.
I'm in here just stealing company time.
I don't ever do shit at work. I don't ever do shit at
This
work.
is Ghost. This is how the listeners feel about
Ride up and down these goddamn hours. I don't ever do shit at work.
The listeners feel like this right now about us and our commitment to this podcast. They feel like this. See, Ghost also hasn't watched the music video of this gentleman saying, "I'm stealing company time" and falling asleep in the locker room. I don't know that dude's name, but he's my favorite.
Doesn't work anymore.
But he's my favorite. So,
yeah, the one that's getting fired.
Yeah, he's. Welcome back. We are back. Does everybody remember how to do this?
Figure it out.
Oh, okay. Pull you up by your bootstraps, Black Republican. Look at you, Nas and Jay-Z over here. Welcome to episode 9.75 of the Brilliant Minds of Idiots. I am your host. I'm Zero. I'm here with the Queen BK, the Prince, Ghost, and the King.
What up?
Rio.
Hey.
Nah, Ghost is a
You
king.
got demoted.
Yeah, I did.
Ghost.
That's what you get for being late.
We were gone for a month. I haven't actually seen.
Okay,
I've seen you a couple times, but there was a craze a couple weeks ago or last week of people using Snapchat filters that look incredibly realistic. So I created a farmersonly.com profile and I used a picture of you. So
Of me?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you get some
when your email starts blowing up with the Berthas
No.
and the Agathas,
Farmers only.
yeah. You don't have to be lonely. Mm-mm. I was gonna do Black Planet, but you know.
Is that still around?
I don't know, actually. Man, it's been a minute. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened. Tiger won the Masters. Abortion's illegal in a couple states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get
More
into
than-
let's get into the heavy stuff before the shenanigans kick in. So, Alabama and Georgia passed laws within the last 2 weeks that restrict one more than the other.
I think there's more than that, isn't there?
Well, those are the two big ones that were publicized, I believe.
Okay.
Where I believe Alabama is now 6 weeks. I don't necessarily know what the punishment is, but I do know that Georgia is 8 weeks. But Georgia, if a doctor performs it in the state of Georgia, he gets an automatic sentence of 99 years. If
Yikes.
a woman leaves the state and goes to another state and gets
gets
caught,
one.
it's 10 years. And then there's something else too. There's something else too. So it's going to the Supreme Court.
And they don't give a shit about rape. They don't give a shit about incest. They don't care.
We'll say sexual assault. The hard R's. We try to avoid the hard R's. Sexual assault.
Fuck that.
Fair enough.
I think in this instance,
I hear
it
what
may
you're
be
saying,
appropriate.
but I'm trying to get to episode 10.
Are you really?
We're already on 11, technically.
Are you really?
I'm trying to release episode 10. I'm sorry. How's everybody here feel about the obvious attack on abortion? Or because I'll start just to break the ice. I don't necessarily know if I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, how I would feel about having an abortion. But I always support the right for a person to have the choice. I find it kind of hypocritical how certain parts of the political sphere say they don't want the government controlling their lives, but you want the government controlling your life. So, me personally, while I'm not necessarily sure how I would feel if a person I was with and I was single and wasn't married and it was a different situation, wanted to have an abortion and the procedure done, I hope we would be able to talk about it. But I'm always going to support a woman having the choice. And if you're in my mind, if you're pro-life, I'm okay with that. I just want to have the choice. If you're pro-life, you still have the choice to be pro-life. I just want to always have the choice for women. I also don't think men should be able to make bills to control women's bodies. Personally,
I think one of the, I don't know if it was a congresswoman or what position she held, but she had proposed a bill in Alabama to ban vasectomies. She wanted to tie that into the legislation, but they said no.
Of course not.
Yeah,
Of course not.
Well,
But
that's
that's trolling.
but it points out the
Double standard.
yeah.
Yeah. Granted, their argument would be sperm doesn't count as life, but a fertilized embryo counts. I still kind of feel like it's a symbiotic relationship until that organism can live on its own, because it's not male or female at that point. It does have a heartbeat, but it can't live at that moment. So I'm a little more skeptical on when life starts. But
Yeah, so I mean,
I kind of always want to let women have the choice to
Yeah.
determine what they want to do
yes.
in any sense. I'm gonna go ahead and skip Ghost, pass it straight to the woman in the room.
Yeah.
Why are you skipping Ghost? What'd he do?
He can answer after you.
Oh, okay. Well, I am definitely pro-choice. I think a lot of pro-life people get it their view of things, I guess, differently, because they act like it's so easy to go through 9 months of bonding with this child and then just giving it up for adoption. So you're not so much pro-life, you're pro-birth. You just want somebody to give birth and not abort it. But thinking that adoption is so easy, that putting them in a foster care system is so easy for a parent.
Do you guys think that people who say pro-choice, and if it gets and if it gets banned, abortion gets banned, after the Supreme Court, we don't know necessarily what the Supreme Court is going to do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But me personally, I feel like anybody who votes pro-choice, you should have to put your name on a registry. And
You mean pro-life?
sorry, yes,
Okay.
anybody who's pro-life, my apologies. Anybody who's pro-life should put their name in a registry. And when
if
a
something
kid
happens to
can't
you.
get when a kid can't get adopted, it gets sent directly to you.
Yeah.
You don't get a choice. Because I hear horror stories of kids that are in adoption or in the system, quote unquote. And I don't think that there's a perfect situation anywhere. I wouldn't mind maybe people who choose to have an abortion go through a 4-hour class in which somebody who's had an abortion and regrets it, somebody who has an abortion and doesn't regret it, just education. Education, maybe speak to a therapist, stuff like that. But I always, if you want to educate people on maybe the ramifications of choosing that choice, I'm okay with that, because they always like to point out that there is a statistic you can pull up that says there's an increased rate of suicide on people who have abortions. I just don't know if that's tied to the actual act of having an abortion, or
It's not having any other option is what.
or if it's tied to a sexual assault or something else. Like I don't necessarily know if it's the act of having an abortion or if there's a life situation there where data points aren't being added to the statistic. Just because I think there's nuance in every situation. So I never want to paint anything with a broad brush. But as a male, I never want to be able to tell a woman what to do with her body, personally. Except for, slide on over to me.
Except for that Mrs.
Not appropriate. Yeah, y'all feel it. What about you, Ghost and Rio?
I feel, slightly, I guess slightly mostly the same way. Like growing up, there's a lot of closed-minded people, and this is one of those issues where people feel a certain way and kind of can't explain why. So I think this is one of those. Growing up, I was pro-life, but when I started realizing the extent, and I still am pro-life, but I also agree that telling someone what, because you don't really think about the other side. You're just all about not killing the child. And then I think there's a couple sides. You have, and with any issue, there's always a 1% or 2% that people bring up, which can be rape or incest and things like that. So, which still happens. So there still should be something. But my thing, looking at the broader picture and kind of being more mature and as I grew up, I think telling a woman that what to do, I don't even know how that's possibly legal, to be able to tell a woman that she can't have an abortion. But the other way I'll go with this is, I don't like that people know that and use it as a scapegoat. So to me, same thing you were saying with education, all that for sure. But if you have an abortion and 6 months later you're trying to have another one, I might not. Then at that point, there's got to be some stuff to where.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a form. I wouldn't use it as
so I think, like you were talking about, a system for the pro-life. I think a system for the people who not necessarily pro-choice, but for the people who've had one or were thinking about having, just because. And maybe part of that system is birth control or some counseling, like maybe you should stop doing certain things,
Yeah.
So I think that's the other side of it. I think it should be attacked from both sides. I think pro-lifers can agree that if they, I'm not saying they could do what they want as far as having sex with as many people they want, but be smart about it and maybe try to protect yourself and the baby, depending on who you're sleeping with, and whoever else. But then I think from the pro-choice side, definitely, how can you tell someone? Because you can use that with a bunch of other situations that you can't really determine what a person does with their body. So I would definitely say I don't agree with them with you being able to tell a woman what to do with her body, but there should be some type of structure.
I would say that I'm pro-life personally. I don't think I would opt to have one, but I kind of would like. I'm okay with a stranger being able to choose what they do in their situation.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I wouldn't want to have one. I would probably try to raise it and do what I want to do. But I'm also in my 30s. If I was 16, 17, 18, and I couldn't, and I didn't have like a job and all that stuff, a child doesn't. There's just a lot of circumstances personally.
A child having a child.
And if you're that
there's
young,
a lot of
situation.
circumstances. That's just.
if you're that young, I would almost treat it like if you're young and you just knew it was just from being reckless, I'd almost treat it like give them some like traffic school type thing, where because if you let them get the abortion, because treat them, I mean, almost like a punishment.
Yeah, go
because
through a
because it is an
Planned
act of doing something wrong because you're not ready, and it is, I mean, essentially murder depending on how you look at it. But once again, shouldn't be able to tell them what to do. So I think they should be able to have to go through some almost like a probation type training period, in my opinion. But
I just don't like. I just me personally, as somebody who feels a certain way about a personal situation, if I was to have one, I just never want to tell somebody else how to live.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's my. I don't think it's my place to tell somebody, as maybe somebody who may be leaning more pro-life. I wouldn't want to tell somebody they couldn't have one if that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
So one thing that doesn't go said, and it's something that really isn't talked about when this conversation comes up, is nobody really talks about women that are pregnant that have a kid that has some form of defect or is brain dead. The heart could still be beating, but there's no brain activity. There's
See, I don't.
you know,
I don't even think of that because that. You know what I mean? That's just
but you have to.
Yeah.
But those are the people that
I'm not saying I don't think about it as a situation. It's just that's just a sad situation to begin with. You know what I mean?
I understand that,
Yeah.
but those people
But
are
it's real.
still being punished.
Yeah, it's real.
And it happens a whole lot more than
And with
anybody
that,
thinks.
it could eventually die inside of you, and if you can't abort it before that happens, you could end up dying yourself as a
sepsis.
pregnant mother. Yeah.
It's just a
So then, who's murdering who at that point?
it's just
Yeah, it's
it's a weird thing to try to take. Like I said, it's weird that a certain political stance you say you don't want the government to tell you how to live, but except for like this one
You're okay with.
this one thing, and it's one thing if you were to vote on it, and the people of America chose it, or the people of the state chose it, or there was some form, but I don't like that it's just some arbitrary 12-person committee.
That's a very good point.
That's all I'm saying is if the constituents of Alabama and Georgia wanted this and they voted for this to be the law of their land, then I'm rolling.
Yeah.
Because they chose it. Even if it was not, even if it's a small majority, the majority of the people of that land chose the law. If that's what you want, that's what you want.
Yeah.
But for, like I said, an arbitrary 12-people panel to vote on it, I don't like that.
But even then, what they passed was so strict. Like
I agree.
Way over the
The
top.
penalty
It's
for
so
the abortion
crazy.
is more
99
strict
years.
than a rape.
99 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a rape,
Yeah,
5 years probation.
Yeah.
And the punishment for having an abortion is
10.
worse than the punishment for rape.
And granted that that Stanford dude happened in California. Where'd the affluenza kid happen? Does anybody remember when the affluenza kid? You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Affluent? Are you talking about the one who
The- yeah,
murdered and said he didn't
Yeah, the dude
know
who
better? He was
who,
raised like that?
Yeah, the dude who was
And
driving
then ran
drunk.
away.
Yeah,
then ran
him
away.
and his parents ran to Mexico.
They got yeah.
Yeah, and
I
they
don't
had,
know where it was, but I don't even know if they finished that trial. I'm sure they did, but
I don't know.
I don't know what they got.
I think he wound up doing jail time because he left the country. But
But that was it.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
off. He got
yeah,
off.
yeah.
He got off. Yeah.
It's a weird.
Well, yeah, another part to that though is that I don't agree with. That's kind of on the same lines. I know things can happen, like you were talking about, as far as health health concerns or things that happen along the different trimesters, but the late abortions, I can't do.
Yeah,
those.
no. Somebody,
do it.
if somebody's talking 7 months in,
When your
and
third
and he's
trimester,
kicking, yeah,
and
if
your
he's
partial, the
kicking and
partial
stuff,
birth ones,
that's different.
you're gonna have to,
Yeah,
you're gonna have to
that's
give
different.
birth. Yeah, to me.
Even if it's
The brain dead is different. Or
He's saying
or
without the.
I'm saying
medical.
aside from the health, because
A
I know
healthy baby?
sometimes
yeah,
you,
yeah.
I know
Perfectly
sometimes
yeah.
a healthy baby.
oh, okay. So
I'm saying sometimes you don't find out until 6 months that, hey, this is bleeding or something.
Yeah.
Then that's different. Like those can, but sometimes people are just like indecisive,
yeah.
and then it comes to 7, 8 months and they can't do the regular abortion because it's
Oh,
too
yeah.
dangerous. So they have to do the partial birth or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So, and that's I can't do that.
And
Can't-
I think a bigger issue that I have personally, just knowing how this country works, is you can quote unquote abolish it in Alabama and Georgia, but all you're doing is just creating a black market for it to be done unsafely and
Again.
in a hotel in the Marriott
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Motel 6 or whatever. And that's what I really want to avoid.
And
I
then you
don't,
got infection,
yeah,
suicide rates.
yes, there's just a lot of,
Not good
like I
factors.
said, if the constituents of Georgia, I don't live in Georgia, I don't live in Alabama. So if the constituents of those states wanted it and voted on it, while I may not agree with the policy, that's what the people wanted for the law of the land that they represent and that they live in. So if that's how it works, like I said, I don't have to agree with it, but that's what they want.
yeah.
But this whole panel of Caucasian old men who just get to arbitrarily choose that's the law in order to bring this up to the Supreme Court because of Gorsuch, and they think that the Supreme Court may look favorably on their view on their not even political stance, on their stance on a human right, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you're honestly just doing something, in my opinion, you're doing something so egregious to bring it up into the Supreme Court in order to get another ruling on Roe versus Wade. And I think that's just a dangerous strategy in order to bring something up to the Supreme Court. Because how many lives are you endangering to get it into that venue? Is one life enough for you to? Is one life worth you having it being heard in the Supreme Court? Is one death of somebody doing it unsafely worth you, or a person that goes to jail for 99 years, or a person that commits suicide, or there's just so many different things in order for you to kind of get this heard so you can rechange the law of the land, to me is kind of irresponsible of a politician, in my opinion. It's irresponsible of people who were elected by their constituents to not listen to their constituents and figure out, is this what they want?
Yeah.
So, welcome back from a 3-week layoff with one of the worst topics you could come up with. But it's a big thing that happened recently.
Yeah.
Speaking of politicians.
I don't ever do shit at work. But ride up and down these goddamn aisles. But ride up and down these goddamn aisles. I don't ever do
I think that's the
shit at
perfect
work.
segue for a politician.
Shit at work. I don't ever do shit at work. But ride up and down these goddamn aisles. But ride up and down these goddamn aisles. I don't ever do shit at work. I don't ever do shit at work. I'm in here just
His
stealing
button
company
pushing
time.
finger
I'm
was
in
itchy.
here just
Yeah.
stealing company
Yeah,
time.
missed
I
those
don't ever
ones.
do
It's been a
shit
while.
at work. I don't ever do shit
Felt
at
good,
work.
didn't it?
Politicians
Give
are
me a
the
little
worst.
tingle.
These goddamn aisles. But ride up and down these goddamn aisles.
Who are you talking about?
Shit at work.
Politicians in general.
Shit at work.
Oh,
Just the act of being a politician. We allow. We'll, we'll transition into another topic that I wanted to talk about. I do a really bad job sometimes when I'm communicating with Rio, because I'll say Twitter, and as soon as I say Twitter, Rio shuts the
Tunes
fuck
out.
down. But I really mean social media in general. But it's just I really because Twitter is like the place you go to for people's like thoughts, but you can find that shit on Facebook as well. And I was just thinking about
He
just
likes
how
the Twitter more.
well I hate both
No, I know.
venues, to be honest with you.
But you pay more attention to Twitter than you do of Facebook.
Not necessarily. I will on a regular
He
day.
admits it.
No,
Glad
on a
that Rio
regular
and I
day,
were-
on a regular day, I'll check both because I got people who were messaging me, DMing me, sliding in my DMs, just asking if we were still doing the show.
Oh, I was gonna say they're still trying to get a picture of Ghost.
No, not yet.
They gave up.
You know what? No one's ever submitting a question. They're like, I'm never going to get a motherfucking McChicken.
They know us very well.
Yeah.
We didn't even tell them that we were
Or
faking.
it just might be late.
No. I'm not gonna lie. The people who are asking for the McChicken, all people I fucking knew. Like, oh, can I ask a question? Like, no, I know you.
Yeah.
The McChicken only qualified
Disqualified.
for a stranger
Yeah.
on purpose.
So how many people were asking?
There was more than
Surprising.
I expected. It was more than I expected.
I mean, you're talking about a free McChicken.
Right.
No. They weren't even asking that question. They were just asking.
Did your nephew slide in the DMs for that McChicken?
No. What they were asking were, they said they liked the show. They thought we were entertaining and wanted to know if we were still going to continue to do it.
Oh.
And were giving us support.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm not going to
Continue
lie.
the podcast or continue the McChicken challenge?
No,
the
podcast.
Oh, okay.
They don't give a fuck about McChicken.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
you said that a bunch of people were talking about, so I assumed.
No. This is all. They were all just asking if we were going to continue the show.
Got you.
And I'm not gonna lie. As a person who does a lot of the editing and the scheduling for you motherfuckers,
I don't think this last break was due to us.
absolutely not. You know what I mean? I had to
Not
take a
one
flight.
bit.
You know what I mean? I was being a bad bitch out here in these streets.
Going to SoCal. You had a point and you forgot it?
No. What happened was
Editing.
I was lulled to sleep because I come in here with some people I love and we
were
just do
boring?
this shit and I edit it and we're good. Well, nigga, after episode 7,
Ish.
lost some motherfucking audio. And then we did an episode 3 weeks ago and the audio just wasn't good. So shit just got really tough. And I understand
Frustration.
the frustrations of a small podcast, but we were lulled to sleep for 6 wonderful episodes first. The shit was, it felt like, nigga, you niggas over here saying it's hard. You fuck out of here, you lazy bums. And then life happened. So for the people who like this show, I don't even know if anybody loves it. I don't know if I love it.
You love the shit.
I
out of
fucking
it.
love this shit. For the people who were listening and requesting and we're just kind of like, hey, you got to record again? Like I had some people walk on me. Frankie, you know what I mean? Strolled up on me like, yo, you got another one in the can yet? I was like, nah. He was like, oh, okay, bum ass nigga. And he just hit the ground level on the elevator. He didn't think I heard it, but I heard it. And I mean, the fact that people were wanting the show was pretty dope. I just hate that we were we got out of the gate and we let people's hopes really up, but we're really trash. Not y'all, but I am.
Yeah, I was about
Because you
to
follow
say.
my lead.
Yeah.
I
We only follow your
hold
lead
the
'cause
show
we don't
down.
have the equipment.
We go as you go.
Yeah,
That's
I could
true.
be the wind
True.
beneath your wings.
Yeah,
I just
you just died.
You know what I mean, yeah. Ain't no breezes out here. Oh, Ghost.
Uh-oh.
Ghost.
Breaking news?
So in the Northern California area, breaking news.
Oh. Sound effect to make sense.
Right.
We've had some storms here recently. It's been raining here the couple of days. We confirmed a myth. White people may or may not smell like wet dog in the rain.
Just to clarify, it was not me.
Was she here?
She
I was there, but I did not go outside.
She was there.
Oh.
So what had happened was a person came to me and was like, "Hey, do you smell this person?" And I was like, "No." And then I walked, you know what I mean? And then they were like, "Hey, kind of smell like a wet blanket." And I was like, "It has been raining." And then I thought about BK. Because episode 2 or 3, she asked,
2.
"Do white people smell like wet dog when it rains?"
Yeah.
She was on a Facebook group and asked me, and I was like, "Yo, bro, I've never smelled you in the rain."
No.
Not on purpose, anyway.
It's been some rain.
No, not on accident either.
So
It's
it's
just never
plausible.
Yeah,
So it's plausible.
it's plausible.
Yeah.
It might be a pH balance in your skin or something. I don't know.
But again, it was not me.
Could be.
But was it a white person?
Yeah.
It was Caucasian. I'm not necessarily. I mean, white's just so many different. You know,
Yeah,
it's a
true.
It's a big umbrella.
It is.
So it was of the Caucasus Mountain descent.
Caucasus Mountain. That's actually the Middle East.
I know.
That's plausible. That's so.
I just want you to know
That's
because I haven't seen
very
you
good
since
information.
that happened.
I'm glad you
However,
told me because
So,
that's information I
Said,
didn't know.
said individual
Breaking
does have quite a few canines in the residence.
Who does? Where you smelled it?
Yeah.
No, listen to what I'm telling you.
No, don't listen to what he's telling you.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
But if they didn't
No,
smell
no.
like the canines before the rain,
That's what I'm trying to tell you. See,
I don't
see
know
that
because I don't go around smelling the
that's
individual.
deductive reasoning
yeah,
right there.
exactly. That's some.
It happened
That's Sherlock Holmes.
when we've had rain. We went through the winter. We were in the beginning of spring.
But you didn't know it existed then.
Did I not know it existed? I don't know. I just think that because you brought it to my attention, and I
did you
never
choose
really I don't necessarily know if I don't know if I ever thought about it until you brought it to my attention. So you are the one who brought this,
I just had questions. I needed answers.
and we got one
Yeah, just the one.
plausibly.
Just saying.
I
that
know
there's factors that could.
It's supposed to rain this upcoming week.
Are we
I'm
gonna
on the lookout.
I was gonna say, are we gonna
Yeah.
stick me out in the rain?
Yeah.
I'm on the lookout. No, because you know it's coming. I need you to be in your natural state. You're gonna go ahead and hit the
That's
organic
true,
soap.
that's true.
Yeah. No. You're gonna pH balance your body.
Herbal essences.
Yeah. No.
Gotta hit that natural white
Like,
person.
it's not gonna be any different.
Your
than
ivory
my
soap
normal-
is still. Your Irish Spring is gonna be
No,
lit.
no.
No. I
all
need
about the
somebody
body
who
wash.
doesn't know that the study's happening.
Body wash.
I need a placebo. I need somebody who doesn't know that
Okay,
that's
but
happening.
the question was, do I smell like wet dog? I need to know if I do, because if I do, there needs to be changes.
I need you not to fall into a false sense of safety for me saying no. If one of your
Whatever you
make-
do to not
I'm gonna
smell
make
like,
Rio come
like
smell
wet
me.
dog, continue to do that.
what I need you to do is, if it turns out that this is myth confirmed, I need you to start ringing the alarm.
I will.
I need you to put out the Facebook post.
We smell like wet dog.
It can't come from me. I'll sound racist.
No, but I need to know.
No, I need you to know too, but I need you to know unknowingly.
Oh, yeah.
You have too much information.
No, I won't
At
do
this point,
anything
if you know
different.
any more, we'd have to kill you. I need
You
somebody.
already have the insider info.
Yeah, I need somebody else to know.
Okay, but I still need to know if I smell like wet dog.
If you smell like wet dog now after you've been alerted,
And then there's problems.
Yes.
I'm not telling you.
No.
You're just gonna get
Rio,
get
will you
all
tell
the
me?
all the smoke. You're just gonna get all the
I would
jokes.
tell you
Thank you.
if you smell like it.
Appreciate it. Coming to Rio now.
I'm
He'll
just making
save
fun.
me.
Just gonna make hella fun of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
mean,
Oh,
that's
that's
why
how
I-
you would let her
that's
know.
why I
Okay.
would
Okay.
tell her.
No. Same thing. Same Z's. Yeah. I don't like that you just judged me because I said same Z's.
Yeah, I kind
He's-
of did.
Yeah, I
Gonna
know.
judge you
I don't like that.
regardless.
I don't like
Yeah.
that. You guys been
Well,
judging
then
me a
don't
lot.
say samesies.
Right?
True.
Samesies,
yeah.
What
twinsies.
about yourself?
Another thing that happened since the last time we recorded and actually publicly put out an episode, there's like 9 hours of tape that you niggas can't
Yeah.
hear.
We can't hear it either.
Nope.
You're welcome. I saw my first Make America Great Again hat in person. And I've seen them on TV,
Yeah.
seen them on social media,
Pictures.
read a lot of hard R's.
In the comments.
Yeah, no, not in the comments, not in the
Twitter-
comments.
in the Twitter
Revolution. No, but I didn't know what I didn't necessarily know what I didn't know what it would feel like. It was very surreal to see a hat. I read it 3 times just to make sure, not make the Portland Trailblazers great again. You know what I mean? Bring back Bill Walton. It was red.
I think they're kind of great at the moment.
Yeah,
And they're
no, I
having
think
a little
it's
bit of struggle.
no, I think it's swept.
Yeah.
But
Has anybody else here seen one in person?
I'll tell you what's even weirder: seeing one at a family dinner.
Oh, so you've seen a family member
Across the dinner table, that's awkward as hell.
Yeah.
Are they hand washers?
I don't know. I've
Me neither.
never been in a public bathroom with them before.
No, private bathroom. You hear the water running?
Why,
Why
The
would
family
I be
member.
why would I
there?
be standing outside?
I'm not standing outside. You know what I mean?
Then that,
No, I use very fragrant. If you've used
At
the
a-
restroom
it
in
was
my
a-
home,
it was
you
at
know
a-
my soaps are very fragrant, so I can spot check you without asking.
it was a.
Is that why you got that frilly stuff?
Goddamn right. Shout out to Bath and
And
Body
Body
Works Christmas time soap special.
You're here for the
Proceed.
You forgot
So,
you lost.
so hold on.
I was okay. So I wasn't listening to him pee. He walked in the room. He walked in the room wearing a MAGA hat, and
And it was at dinner? It was at
yeah,
like a
it was.
public
It
restaurant
was
or
at like
a...
Was it
Easter
like,
or
I was gonna say,
something.
was it
He
Thanksgiving?
wore it on Passover?
No, yeah, it was like on Easter or Thanksgiving. He came through with the hat to dinner.
He was thankful
It
for
was,
his racism.
he wore
It,
that.
it was a family member that I kind of expected
It,
to
Looked like the type.
be a MAGA man, but
that makes it sound like a superhero. I don't
Yeah,
like
it does. Instead of blue, he's red.
Like Mega
Yeah,
Man.
it's
Mega,
like-
Mega Man.
So that's a question because mine was a stranger.
yeah.
Do you think it's because that's what I'm saying, because you kind of expected it from that person, it wasn't shocking from that person? Would it be different if it was a stranger or not?
It was still shocking though. It wasn't like not. I mean, even though I expected it, I
It's still sitting
still
there
I get
staring
never
in
it.
your
Christmas
expected
face.
or Easter.
You know?
I get it. Easter. He's risen. Make America great again.
It
It's
was-
symbolic. I get it.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so I wouldn't say that it wasn't shocking or it didn't kind of make me look twice. But initially, I couldn't help but just feel angry. And I was just pissed off that I even had to associate with this person.
What was the first thing that went through your head when you saw it?
I thought he was a racist.
I'll tell you what my initial thoughts were when I saw it in person, because it was surreal for me. I was with a friend, and he was like, "I bet you that's America, Make America Great Again hat." And I was like, "Nah, nigga, that's a Phillies hat." And then I walked by it, and I didn't think anything of it. And then as I was walking, I was coming back to where I was going. I looked at the hat, and it had words, and then I read it, and I was like, "All right." I heard it, read it. I don't think that's what it is, though. I'm going to reread it. Because maybe it's a joke. Because the venue wasn't, I would say the venue's not appropriate. It was the ultimate troll, I would say. So I read it again, and then I read it again, just to make sure. And then my initial thoughts were, one, what time period do you want to go back? When was America great? That's my initial thought when anybody says it. What time period do you think America was at its peak? The second thing I thought was, what is your ideal future or ideal thought process for the future? And I would like to have a discussion with that guy. My third thing was, how much that fucking hat cost you? Because if you paid $8.99 for it, you're just a troll. You paid $27.99 at Lids.
You feel a certain way.
Yo, that's entrenched in you. That's deep. Like that's something you feel.
But
like,
didn't
feel
it
that
have
way.
initials on the side too? So he paid $27.99
Ooh,
and
got
the
it
embroidery cost.
He had it personalized.
My initial thoughts when I saw the hat wasn't square up, bro. Come catch these hands.
It was or it wasn't?
It was not. My initial thought was I would really like to just talk to this dude because I don't necessarily know if you're just following an anti-trend or you have an idea in which it's based in some type of philosophy, or you're racist. So there's like,
Multiple levels.
yeah, there's multiple levels that
It's
all
an
these people
onion.
fit in. And I always want to keep that same energy as a person who used to wear saggers pants, used to have, you know what I mean? I used to be a stereotypical
kid.
black dude.
Yeah. You were a
And
kid.
I never wanted to be judged as a thug. So I'm trying to keep that same energy when when I see other people strangers. So that's honestly what I really initially thought, and I discussed that with several friends who I was there with. Like, I would really like to have a conversation. He may or may not want to have this conversation with me personally, but I would like to have the conversation. The venue wasn't the correct venue to ask him to view his political beliefs.
If the venue was different, would you have asked?
Yeah.
So you would stop a stranger and
If I see him in Popeyes, yes. KFC, a little different. That Colonel look a little
Walmart?
racist.
Walmart?
No. Target, yes.
Probably what about a bar? That'd be an easy one.
Ooh, what
You're
kind
getting
of
into a fight.
Yeah,
You're getting
into a
into a
fight.
fight.
what's playing?
Yeah.
Prince, yeah. Taylor Swift, no.
Definitely not.
I'll wait till Kendrick comes
Karaoke night?
on. Yeah. I'll wait till Kendrick
What's
comes
going on at this bar?
Oh no, you know the bars.
What about
Bars got different. You know what I mean? But you come on
the
now.
sports bars.
You've easily
sports bars.
easily
Sports bars usually neutral. That would be a place.
No, but she's definitely line danced at a bar
No, but I'm just
with
saying.
cowboy boots on.
No.
Probably with your husband.
No.
Husband plays hockey, so it wouldn't shock me if he has a pair of cowboy boots in the top of the closet.
No, he doesn't. I do. They're hella comfortable. I had to buy them for a wedding.
They never look comfortable.
And I was gonna say the same thing. I've
they
never
just
seen
don't.
a pair of
The ones
cowboy
that
boots
curl
where
up, like an elf shoe.
Yeah, and then they always like
They make
they
them
just
that
sound
way,
like
too.
horse feet when they walk.
No, skinny at the end. Where are your
Yeah.
toes?
Yeah.
Further back.
like
I got duckbill platypus
They're
feet
just
too. I'm a
all
great swimmer.
crunched
Yeah,
up.
they have to be. I can't. Or you
hold your
buy them
feet
like
like
3
this.
sizes too big.
BK got corns. BK got kettle corns.
You have like ballerina feet after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do
They're
it.
hella comfortable.
I just want to I just want to share that experience on the show because I like I said in California, in Sacramento, California, it ain't commonplace to see that hat. So I just wanted to, you know what I mean, to
Go to the Wrangler, it will be.
here. I still don't think so. I don't know where the Wrangler
in
is.
Sacramento.
I just know
It's in your hood.
it sounds like jeans to me. The Wrangler outlet store,
No.
like next to the Levi's, the 505s.
What the heck is that pizza place called?
Ooh, Pizza Bell. Oh, is that in
Yeah.
Wilton?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
my hood.
Oh, it's-
It's on
A
the
lot of
way.
field in between me and them.
It's on the way.
Nah.
Once I get out of my hood, I'm now in yours.
Yeah. So, what else is? Avengers came out. Blockbuster of the year, most likely. It's going to break all the records or whatever. Has anybody here seen Avengers?
I have.
I have not.
Oh,
you got
I was gonna
excited.
say- I was
You
about
got
to
excited.
say.
No, I've
I
not.
was about to say.
I want to see it though, but
I do too.
I haven't yet.
You want to go together? No.
that was weird how you said that. But yeah,
Right. Need a recliner in between the two of you?
No.
Oh, I'm just asking.
No. As a fat guy, I'm very spatially aware. I don't like to fight over armrests. I get you the prayer hands. They're in my lap. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't like to elbow nobody. I'm not I think I'm pretty considerate in a movie theater.
Yeah.
BK, have you seen it? You got a younger son. Did you take your son to see Avengers?
Hell no.
He's so trash.
It's a 3-hour movie. He couldn't sit through
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did the movie feel like 3 hours?
No.
Oh, really?
Did
4?
Zeus end up going?
No.
Did you cry?
No.
There's no. I'm saying that
It
Yeah,
is
honestly.
there's lots of
sad
people
as
that have
hell.
said, yeah.
It's
Well,
sad
there's
as
people
hell.
that said they cried
do
during
that,
the movie.
'cause
Yeah.
Did you feel
know.
when you left it was worth the 20 movies that came before it? And that you watched?
That's
So
probably gonna be
I think if you put this together with Infinity Wars, most definitely yes. If you say if you're only taking this as the ending and like that's it, I don't think it would be.
Is it a good standalone movie?
Yes. Yes.
So I could go see it with no problem?
No.
Oh.
Oh no. So you're saying no? Because I heard a lot of people who never have watched any of the previous movies say that they still like the movie itself. So you're saying no?
They didn't like the movie?
No, they
No, they
did.
did.
They thought the movie standalone was still written well and good, and they don't like comic book movies. They kind of like how Black Panther. I took my wife to see Black Panther. She has no idea what the fuck is happening in any of it.
Those people are full of shit. Whoever told you that's full of shit.
Oh, so you don't think it's a good standalone
Okay.
movie?
No.
So I
Oh.
know.
I mean, I thought you meant does it stand on its own like it?
Like no, like an individual movie. Would you say that
like
the
if you haven't
movie
seen
is
the other
good?
ones, would it be a good
like
movie?
like Captain
No,
America:
no,
Civil
if
War
you-
is a good movie on its own.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you have to watch other movies to go see it. You can't go in there and not have seen
Blindly.
everything.
Okay, because like
In
I said,
my opinion. In
no.
my opinion.
I'm not saying you get the movie. Do you think it's a good movie?
If you haven't seen the other movies, no, I don't. I couldn't imagine how it would be good.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
All the emotional appeal to it ties back
Yeah.
to previous movies, and there's so many recalls throughout the movie to the older movies. I loved it. I loved all the recalls that they did, but I think if you don't get those, you're missing out on such a huge part of the movie
Got you.
Okay.
because they're
Or the magnitude
they're
of the
things
movie.
that matter.
Yeah, the
They're
magnitude
things
of the
that
movie.
matter.
So that's what I'm saying. Subtracting the magnitude, do you think it was written well, produced well, and it's not cheesy?
Always, yeah.
Okay.
Marvel does an amazing job with that.
I agree. I think they've rewritten how layup movies. I called them layup movies before, like Men in Black. If you watch it now because it makes me feel like a kid, it's good. But if you've never seen Men in Black, it's an awful movie. Like if you got nothing to go on other than today, it's a terrible movie. But it was a layup movie because back
Now
in
they're
its
making a
time,
new
it was
one.
still good.
Yeah.
The budget, everything was of its time. It was
That was a decent movie.
When's the last time you watched it?
I saw it probably a few weeks ago because it just always comes on TNT. But it's not my first time, so it's hard for me.
Yeah,
to
that's
say.
what I'm saying. Like if it was your first time to watch it in
Like a
2019.
movie like E.T. It was almost like my first time I saw it a few years ago. Ugh.
Oh, okay. Goonies. I watched Goonies last year for the first time.
How'd you feel? That's a different one though. But how'd you feel about it?
Hey, you guys!
You didn't like it?
I liked it.
Oh yes, it stands
But
the time.
the only reason why I liked it is because I grew up with Ghost saying, "Hey, you guys!" So it still resonated with me as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've never seen it.
You're not missing much.
Hey. It's a classic.
I think I've met somebody that looks like the
I'm
ogre
forced to
in the-
watch it on a regular basis.
I
Are
bet
you?
somebody looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met somebody who looks like that little ogre thing in the basement. I have. You wouldn't know, but whenever you watch it, it's gonna make a lot of sense to you. What else have I seen? Because I'm not a guy. I'm not a person who. Rio's a big movie buff. Real
Yeah, I love watching movies.
looks at cinema.
I love
I go to the movies, and I don't pay for movies to go to the movie theater. Okay. For instance, my type of movie experience, and this is just for episodes going forward. I watched all three Godfathers for the first time last year.
Oof.
I mean, so did I.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them
But
all.
I mean, I don't think that's.
Pretty long.
Yeah.
No,
All day.
no, but okay. I'll take it one step further. I've never finished Scarface
Oh wow!
in one
Yes.
sitting.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I've never finished Scarface in one sitting.
That's
I've seen the
insane.
beginning and I've seen the end, but I've never sat down and watched Scarface all together as one.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've
I
watched
think I have
Friday a million times.
Yes.
I've watched Major Payne, Harlem Nights,
Coming to America.
Coming to America. Yes. I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from cinematically.
I've watched all those.
Yeah, I
Except
know
for
you
Harlem
have.
Nights.
You've never
done
seen Harlem Nights?
You've seen The Gods Must Be Crazy.
That
Don't make
movie
it-
is
Don't make a face
funny.
like that when you say you haven't seen Harlem Nights. Like you're not missing
That
anything.
You've never seen
Funny.
Harlem Nights?
That
Oh,
movie
we gotta
is
have a
funny.
family. We gotta have a family trip.
Like you're not missing anything. That's a good
Yeah,
movie.
that's a great
It's
movie.
before Coming to America.
They're
That
gonna
shit is
redo it. We gotta
funny.
watch it.
Are they? Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, they're
Is
gonna
it Harlem
redo
Night?
it.
No, it's Coming to America.
No, both. No. They're doing a second Coming to America. They're gonna
Oh, yeah.
remake.
I didn't
Harlem
like. I didn't like
Oh.
what they're talking about with Coming to America though.
Yeah, they're gonna say like Hakeem. Anyways.
Yeah.
No free ads.
Yeah, I got you.
Up and down, these goddamn hours. I don't ever do shit at
No free ads.
I don't ever do shit at work. I'm in here just stealing company time. I'm in here just stealing company. I don't ever do shit at work.
Yo, that song slaps. That song is dope. I don't care what nobody says. That gets my look, and I do a lot of shit at work. But if I could play that during like my breaks or whatever, I kind of feel like I'm getting over on the man. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm doing my job, but
But as long
you
as I
don't know
play
I'm
this
listening
in my, ear,
headphones.
Yeah.
Looking at my boss, you know what I mean? I'll never do shit at work. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I'm doing my job, but you know what I mean? I'm never gonna give my job a reason to fire my black ass. No way. Other than this podcast.
I hope not.
This is the last episode of
Right.
Nah, I kid. No, I think we're just decent people. I don't think we do anything crazy. We might have to cut out that abortion topic in the beginning though. Well, let's go to the show notes. Let's see what we got here. Oh, another thing that was kind of serious, and I kind of wanted to get the room's temperature on. Florida just passed a law that allows teachers to carry guns.
Of course they did.
Florida's just always doing irresponsible shit.
That's the worst state to pass a law like that.
Yeah.
Well, no, hold on. Look, if we would have done this fucking show and it would have been released 3 weeks ago, Florida passed a law that allowed felons to vote if it was nonviolent felonies.
That's dope.
But they Florida the shit up by saying you also have to pay off all your restitution, all your court fees. So they pretty much poll taxed
Fuck
them.
you.
They pretty much
So-
poll taxed them. So
Exactly.
They
Florida's.
ain't voting.
So I would say,
'Cause that's going to the
yeah,
state.
Florida was
It's money
getting
going to the state. So.
Yeah, so I was like, Florida, man, oh man, they're turning it around down there. Andrew Gillum,
Nope.
and then they Floridaed it up. So, how does everybody feel about this whole arming teacher thing?
I think it's a bad idea.
Yes.
I think it's
I-
the principle. I get what they're trying to do, but it's just not.
I'm
That's
never
one of-
sure
You
if
can't.
more guns is the answer.
That's one of the most overworked
Is-
and underpaid professions there is.
yeah.
Like you talking about going.
Trey's getting blasted in the face.
Yeah, you talking about going postal? If you
Yeah.
give teachers
Yeah.
guns,
Yeah.
that'll be the new going postal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Latin teachers definitely turn that shit sideways and lighten up Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because Dante's throwing paper airplanes
Yeah.
and
Steve,
passing notes. Yeah.
Steve, my mom's going to have your ass, Kemp, Mrs. Kemp. Oh, you know when when a teacher gets called by their first name? Kim.
He's getting shot in his big toe.
Yeah.
Like Harlem Nights.
Yeah, Harlem Nights.
Pinky toe.
See, you got to watch that fuckers.
But yeah, I think I get it, but it's irresponsible to think that you'll be able to manage that type. And I'm sure they're going to be like, oh, but we're going to only give it to people who are screened and whatever. But in those, especially like high school, where the kids are just bad.
If you brought it to elementary school, I think I'm okay. I mean, my elementary school teachers.
Most of the incidents
really
from middle
nice.
school and high school is usually.
I know that's you bring it to high school though.
Because middle school is where it starts. That's where the kids start. You start knowing, okay, this guy's gonna be.
How you feel about that law, BK?
I think it's a terrible idea, mostly because of the postal thing. I know how teachers should be paid, and they're not, and arming them with some little shithead poking at you.
And I mean, I don't want to make it seem like I don't trust a teacher to not
But it just
go
takes one.
postal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean,
I wouldn't want my daycare to be armed either.
Exactly. And to what extent do you train them? You know, what kind of psychological evaluations do they undergo? Things like that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's a terrible idea.
as
In my son's word, that's not safety.
yeah.
Can I tell you my bigger hesitation with arming teachers? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't necessarily know if this is a new thing. I just think it hits the media more. If anybody who's been tuned into the news or anything else, you will know there's been uptick, I would say, and teachers out here fucking students. And if you're willing to fuck a student, number one, I don't trust your judgment. Number two, why wasn't that student's like, nah, nigga, I passed your class, fuck out of here. Somebody's gonna get shot. And there's just too much. There's too many, too much.
variables.
There's just too much. There's too much. There's four of us in this room. Other than Ghost, I don't necessarily know if I trust anybody, including myself, with a gun around me. Because I like to talk a lot of shit. Ghost will just give it back to me. Real just shoot me for fun. And I think BK is shoot me just because.
Target practice.
Yeah. And I shoot myself because I'm dumb.
Cheddar Bob.
Plaxico.
Yeah, like in my, you know what I mean? Yeah, Plaxico, exactly.
You're gonna shoot off a toe.
No, not the big one though. I can't walk if you don't have the big one.
You just do the pinky one. That one's only good for finding furniture anyway.
Oh, the pinky toe also. Just what the fuck is the nail on the pinky toe? It's literally
Something
just
to
a
get ripped
nuisance.
off.
It's only just to get caught in the blanket
Yeah.
Yes.
and scratch my wife.
Stab her.
Kind of do it on purpose though. Like I'll make sure I don't file that one down.
Isn't the pinky one the most important toes? Though,
No,
like,
it's
I
for
thought the big
balance?
toe
Your
was.
big toe is
I
what
thought the
keeps you
big toe is a
balanced.
stability.
Yeah, the balance.
It's like the thumb of your toes.
It's what separates us from the monkeys.
I thought that was our thumbs.
It is.
Posable.
Monkeys don't have thumbs?
No, they have thumbs.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
They're the same. They have the opposable.
So do raccoons.
Are we behind on the monkeys? I kind of feel like if we could grab stuff with our hands and our feet, we might be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like our feet are kind of useless.
Your feet are kind of useless.
A lot of people run and stuff.
I mean, I pick up a lot of stuff
Yeah.
with my feet.
No. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just saying you couldn't peel a banana with them bitches.
I don't want
Imagine
to.
if you could, though.
Yeah, give me some time. Give me
Right.
some
I
time.
don't want to.
Evolution. I'm not saying you couldn't evolve into doing it. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I think we haven't evolved because
that
I'm not trying to
motion ain't
touch
that
something
hard.
I'm eating or dealing with my feet.
What if you just got out of the shower? I'm
No,
definitely pulling a bullet.
not.
I'm definitely pulling
If I
a
could
banana.
peel a banana with my feet, I'm not eating
and
it.
playing Call of Duty.
You don't got to touch the banana.
I'm
you
not
just
eating
hold
it, though.
from the bottom.
It's got a peel.
Just hold the peel.
Nah, I'm not.
You
Man,
That's
savage.
better.
bougie as fuck.
Savage.
Ghost.
He would just.
You're gonna
he
touch
would-
it. I mean, if I didn't touch it with my foot, then I can eat it. But
The peel's not armor, y'all.
So do you,
yeah, but peeling, you're gonna touch the
mean?
banana.
so do you?
I don't want to eat an armored banana
He's
either.
just saying
So
his toe
Ghost-
funk could still get in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
It would
trying to
still
help you
touch the
out,
banana.
Ghost.
If you just got out of the shower, you don't got no
No,
tooth.
I'm good.
You
I
still
just
got
want to
toe
know,
funk?
Ghost. Do you eat your bananas? Do you take them out the peel all the way and then
No.
eat them? See, you're good.
Do
There.
you eat bananas? Does everybody here eat bananas?
Eh,
Yeah.
Okay.
occasionally.
Yeah. I'll eat
Not
them in the peel,
favorite.
but
I don't. I told you
my
my
feet
worst
touching them.
Yeah.
Like if I could type with my feet, that'd be dope. 'Cause I'd just be,
So you would rather your keyboard be covered in toe
Yeah.
jam because those motherfuckers are coming straight out of the shoes.
yeah.
So you drove in them.
I could deal with
You
that.
walked into the office.
I could sanitize.
You said hi to Sarah. You got some water.
He's shaking hands with his
Yeah.
feet
Yeah.
too.
Nobody's
How you
touching my
doing,
keyboard
Sarah?
though.
Can I tell you the grossest thing I saw all year so far? I walked into
Shaq's
the
feet.
restroom at work and somebody's lunch pail was on the floor.
Oh, that is foul.
Not gonna lie.
That is foul. Inside a stall.
Yes.
Oh.
They got
Oh,
hooks
inside the
on
stall?
them, don't they?
No.
Don't
It was one of those construction worker like those hard ones that just like kind of you have to push over.
like the ice shed.
Yeah. He had one of those in there and it was open.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
eating while he was
He had
shitting.
bologna, cheese, and poop.
In with the new, out with the old. Baby.
Yeah, he was replenishing.
That is a shitty lunch.
I went in there and I kind of I looked underneath the stall to verify that it was open because I thought it was open.
You saw like some mustard drip.
No. I heard a chip bag. What I considered a chip
Oh
bag.
my god, you're eating.
That is
in...
awesome.
Yeah, I heard
my
rustling
God.
of some type of foil.
They
How
have
do your
ridges.
Doritos taste with?
Yeah, I'm with.
They say you have to smell to eat too.
Yeah.
You do.
So maybe that's the wave. Maybe
I
those
mean,
Cheetos are dope.
I'm with multitasking, but that's too much. Not those two. Not those
Hey
two.
man,
tasks.
they only give you 15 minutes for a break though.
Then go at home. Hold it. No, hold that.
No, you ain't holding that. If you have to eat while you're shit,
Yeah.
That's what I'm
you
saying. It's
can't
not-
hold that.
if
No,
he's
no,
eating,
don't.
Then he could hold it.
No, he could not. No.
You're
That
eating
means his
chips,
stomach
it
was
wasn't that
hurting.
serious.
But your meal could wait.
Yes,
One
that
of
shit
them.
couldn't wait.
One of them
Yeah.
gotta wait. Whichever one can wait. needs
I
to
don't
wait.
chew gum
no
in the
reason
bathroom.
that your lunch should be in there with you.
I try to take shallow breaths, and I try not to talk.
Is that worse than brushing your teeth in a public?
Yes, because you're in the stall. You're in the stall.
That somebody else was
guaranteed.
just in.
Also,
But it's your own brand.
no, it's not because
Just in
somebody's
there.
next to you though. But
And somebody was
toothbrush,
in there
you
before
spit it
you.
out.
I know.
Toothbrush, you spit it out.
Yeah,
You rinse, you spit. You're just
rinse?
ingesting.
you're not supposed to rinse.
I know. I hear what you're saying. People do, and I did for 30 years. It's only been this new wave that I've not. Is it weird that I mouthwash for like 15 minutes?
Yes.
How do you hold it in there that long?
That's what she said.
Yeah, you're right. She
He
just
has
said
strong
it.
jaws.
No. I just as I get.
Oh, now
So, no,
the
what I have to
ecstasy
do-
problem makes sense.
No, because I'm fat, I have to air dry, right? So when I get out of the shower,
I
What?
do that as a skinny person.
no, I air dry.
What does that do with mouthwash? Mouthwash.
No, I was going to tell you.
Well,
I was going to
he's
tell you my routine.
multitasking.
I was going to tell you my routine.
He's
I get out of the
multitasking.
shower. I brush my teeth. As I'm air drying, I have a clinical strength. I'm fat. Foamy deodorant and a
Foamy or
manscaping anti-chafing air dried requirement for the lower extremity.
I don't
Did we
understand
sign
why.
up for this?
Nah, you could have just started with the mouthwash and ended with the
No,
mouthwash.
but then as I brush, as I wait to
Yeah,
air
I think-
dry, I mouthwash and I hold the mouthwash until I'm finished getting dressed.
You could have just
you could
said,
have just said that.
Yeah.
That sentence right there.
Yeah.
I don't think I
gotta give you all
revealed
the
too much.
details.
I didn't reveal.
Oh, you
No.
you revealed
Listen,
way
no,
too
hold on.
much.
Listen to what I did. I just let you know that I wash my balls and I put on deodorant and I get out of the shower.
I didn't
You're
even know
welcome.
any of that.
I know you didn't, but I'm kind of glad you do.
So it was a
He
selfish
feels like he's
thing.
bonding.
Yeah.
You wanted
Well,
to kind of.
No, I just want you to
What
know that
happens when
those
you
weird
bring your
fat
calves
people
out? You
smells
know
as
this
I'm
is
eating in the
problem.
bathroom.
It's not you.
I am not
That wet
glad
dog.
that happened.
It's not zero.
I'm gonna cut this shit out anyway. It's not gonna make it.
He
Anyways,
ain't gonna cut
I
it
feel
out. He's
dirty.
leaving it in.
no, I felt
Maybe
clean.
you should take a shower and then air dry.
Yeah, I felt clean and
Yeah.
But
refreshed.
don't forget to wash your balls.
Does anybody take warm showers in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you?
Do you take cold showers?
No. I take
Confusion.
extremely hot. I take
Oh,
extremely hot showers.
yeah.
But when I get out, the reason why I air dry also is because I will sweat afterwards,
Oh yeah.
and I feel like I'm just.
I
Kinda,
hate sweating. That. Yeah. I don't-
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm hustling backwards at that point. Does anybody else have the sweating problem?
I
That's
don't like
me.
to be sticky.
I'm clinical strength. Another thing I want to discuss, just to get your guys' before we get into shenanigans, your ideas on the Uber strike. Uber and Lyft did a strike, and they were complaining about how much they get paid, right? And I was kind of baffled because a job that doesn't require a application, and if a motherfucker gets paid $20 an hour, everybody would just quit their jobs and Uber, right? So I understand their issue because Uber is, which shout out to the Queen Beyonce who made $300 million off of stock she got from Uber. She did a performance about 7 years ago or something like that, and did not opt for the $7 million payment. She opted for stock instead. And when they went public last week, $30 million was the worth of her stock, reportedly. This is pretty dope.
But these people that are going on strike, these Uber and Lyft drivers, it's not like they're asking. I don't think they're asking for anything crazy because Lyft and Uber continuously reduce the percentage of what is generated from
distribution.
Yeah, they have continuously done that, and they just did it by like another 25%.
But is the reduction of the pay because as people pay more, or as rideshare programs become more popular, more people begin to opt into Uber, and the more people who opt into Uber, you can't pay everybody the same, so you have to cut it down because the demand goes down. You know what I'm saying? Like business wise, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about.
I mean, if you have
survival-wise.
more drivers, you're still making more money.
But there's also more people to pay.
But
Like-
Which should balance out,
you're
though.
not paying them by the hour.
No, you're paying them by the
by,
ride.
By the ride, yeah. So
Yeah.
however much, that doesn't affect their bottom line.
I feel like more
It doesn't.
rides should mean more
You don't
money.
think so?
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
More rides because it's no overhead
Yeah,
except for their office and things like that. More rides should mean more money.
yeah.
Okay. That's why I wanted to discuss it with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not an economist. I got no college degree.
And if you keep reducing the percentage that these people receive, how are they even supposed to pay for the upkeep of their car?
Yeah.
You know,
No, I 100% agree that they should be paid more. I did, I stumbled across the worst clip you can hear when somebody was like, I should be paid $200 a day. And that's where I was like,
yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? That's where I was like, okay, hold on. You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying, more rides. But is there
because of every ride, Uber still gets the same cut, no matter how many drivers.
True,
they
but
have.
is there a liability / marketing / upkeep of apps, upkeep of managing? Is there? Once again, I don't know. I'm just trying to push back. Maybe.
So I know somebody who's in IT, and he's like the main guy at the company that he works at, and he talks about. I'm not going to get into
I
the
get you.
numbers of what he's told me, like, because I've asked him, how many of you would it take to,
Run it,
effectively run it? And he makes it seem like the manpower to upkeep of an app and websites and systems and stuff like that isn't
Low.
outrageous. He's because people who do the IT work are, they could
But
get a lot of work done.
I hear what you're saying.
to manage
Yeah.
a lot of like different.
But is
systems
it?
and
Do you
stuff.
think there could be a different scenario when it comes to location based for multiple different? Because you also have to have the location of the driver. You have to have the location of the person. You have to prevent against people who are hacking it because there's credit cards. Like like I said, I don't know what this person does for a living, or what actual IT company they're doing. I think they're just maybe a few more moving parts. Maybe I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm with you there, but I'm just saying.
Maybe it's still not worth it. Yeah.
Even then, I still think they should be able to afford to pay a bigger chunk of that to the drivers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really trying to get at. I don't want to downplay how much work goes in on all of that stuff or how many people are required. But at the end of the day, they should have still been able to make money.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think, BK?
Same long things as Rio. I think that being greedy when you have a company that is getting bigger, that is expanding, it's going to even out with more drivers. You're going to have hopefully more rides and be able to still get the same amount of cut from it. You have a guaranteed cut. Their ride, at 10 in the morning when rides aren't super expensive, the driver is more than likely going to get less. But Uber's still going to take their 20 off the top. So.
And that's not even factoring in the IPO that I think both of them just did this year.
Yeah, that's what brought this up.
When you look at that IPO, I mean,
but that's what brought it up, though.
Their valuations,
yeah,
gigantic. They can afford it.
Yeah. Quit being greedy.
Just like Amazon could afford to pay their workers more.
Okay. Oh, hold on. We'll get into that in a little bit. What about you, Ghost? With Uber?
I agree. I mean, big companies, when you get that much money, it comes with individual businesses and stuff. You just they get that way for a reason because they're greedy and they try to cut overhead. They cut their tax losses, all that kind of stuff. So, of course, they could give more back to the drivers, and they definitely shouldn't be with the business model plan like that, which is just amazing because of the lack of overhead, the lack of employees you need and infrastructure as far as having brick and mortar businesses. I don't really see and there could be little reasons within that the growth is costing them, but I think if you're saying it's 25% cuts, there's no reason for that. And hopefully,
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm not saying they don't have a gripe.
Yeah.
I just it was just some of the demands like I said, some of the demands I was hearing certain people say. I was like,
that's
chill out. But
you always get
that's
those.
No. I think this is a good conversation though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me,
Yeah,
it's good for me.
I don't think that outlandish people are saying, "Oh, I need to be paid $200 a day for the rides that I do." I don't think that's the majority of people.
And
So
and
I
what
wouldn't
you
want
also
them to be the ones to speak for them.
and also be wary of the source of which you saw the video. Always take that into consideration as well.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's why I just want to have it here. You're talking to somebody I've probably taken 4 Uber rides in my life. I kind of I don't like to be out of control, as you guys heard in the last episode. So I don't like to be driven anywhere. I like to drive myself.
I've never had Uber or Lyft.
You've never done it?
Mm-mm.
I did mine for the first time in Vegas.
So that would be a place I'd probably do it. Maybe Vegas.
It was
I've done
very
quite a few.
convenient.
Okay.
I was scared.
They are
Yeah, for women,
they're
it's
so
a little more scary.
so convenient.
Oh, I was with 3 other people.
I
There was no
absolutely-
reason for me to be scared. I'm just a pansy.
There was just transitioning from one social media to our social. Yeah, social media. I mean, Uber is a creation because of social media. There was a lady, and this is probably about a month and a half ago. There was a lady who was boarding an international flight, and I I want to say it was JetBlue. It was a JetBlue international flight. And they, instead of having boarding passes, they scanned your eyes. Or your whole face, sorry. They scanned your whole face. This is not clear. This is not something you opted into. Instead of scanning a boarding pass, they automatically opted you into...
Like my phone?
No, because you put your face in your phone.
Well, right, but I'm saying it does the same thing.
Yeah.
Scan.
And so a lady was on Twitter, and she asked, why on earth, who opted me into this, and what are you comparing it to? Because I didn't provide you a picture of my face. JetBlue's Twitter guy responded saying it's compared to a database provided by Homeland Security, and it's supposed to be secure, is what they said. It's transmitted to them securely and then verified through them, and then the confirmation sent back to us.
That makes no sense.
How did Homeland Security get my face? Did they steal it from my driver's license?
Now
And my phone?
we won't. Now we won't be. We definitely won't be naive thinking that.
They don't have my face.
Well, so when the facial recognition came out on the iPhone, just like with Apple Pay and the fingerprint, what they said is, which is why you can't use the NFC chip to transfer real documents. AirDrop uses Bluetooth, not NFC. They said that is secure and it is not connected to anything that's connected to the web. Right? So they made it seem, which, you know what I mean? This is before my third eye was open, right? So they tried to make it seem like it was secure and you should use it because it's stuck on your phone. There's no way anybody can hack it unless they get into your phone itself, which makes a little bit of sense, like the San Bernardino shooter and everything else. They actually needed his information. They couldn't hack it through anything else other than opening his phone, right? Yeah. But this shit's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Like, okay, while we know that Homeland Security's got information on us, right?
Right.
What is this? Is this picture just corroborated by the DMV? If it just said DMV, it makes sense to me. I think you even have to put your driver's license or an identification number in when you book a flight.
I hope it's my DMV instead of my passport. My passport picture is awful.
Well, if it verifies it, you're ass out of luck. Means your regular face is awful. But what I was just trying to say, just this whole thing, Facebook, the whole issue I have with it is a month ago, Facebook was reportedly, I don't necessarily know if the government really doesn't want Facebook to have your data or if they just want Facebook to give you their data or give them their data. Because nobody ever, I haven't heard any of the government actually talk about breaking Facebook up because Facebook owns WhatsApp and Instagram.
There's a couple politicians that are calling for it.
A couple. But it's not as big as Facebook is, and what we had last election. You would think, in my opinion, you would think it would have been a long time ago.
It should be a bigger thing, especially
Facebook's owner, Facebook co-creator, said it's too big.
Yeah,
and they have a monopoly, and they should blow it up. That's what he said. Is that sour grapes? I don't know. But Facebook's kind of freaky. Facebook got in trouble. There was a menstrual app that you could share through Facebook, which why you would want to share that through Facebook is kind of wild to me. Like, oh, it's that time of the month and it's Ghost's birthday. Like, I don't know why you would want to share it through Facebook, but they were sharing it through Facebook, and then Facebook was selling their menstrual information to advertisement companies so you can get that Tampax commercial when it was right.
Yeah. Wow.
And Twitter just sent out a notification to some users, not me, but they sent out a notification to some users saying that they accidentally sent your location information to a third party, and they verified that it was deleted, and they only kept it in there, and it was only exact within 10 kilometers, blah, 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 which 10 kilometers and 10 miles are way different. But all this data shit is getting kind of scary to me. As somebody who doesn't really... Well, Ghost, this isn't even a conversation for Ghost.
Nah.
Rio,
Maybe.
not much. But BK, you should be scared of shit. You answer a lot of quizzes and shit. People probably got your code passwords and shit.
Oh, I'm sure they do. They're not going to have any fun with mine. I mean, there's pictures of my kid.
No, I'm just talking about, like, you know what I mean?
My phone number's not attached to it. No credit card information's attached to it.
And it's not
A
attached
shitty,
to it.
a shitty email.
No, but it's not attached to it. But that doesn't mean that an answer you answered on that website is not can't be correlated through Capital One as a security question. Is what I mean. I'm just saying, scammers are getting smart, my guy, guys, lady, and this shit is getting nuts. How everything is kind of connected.
I mean, another thing about Facebook is just what they've been doing as far as suppressing people's voice as well. Like,
That was where I was gonna go next.
It took me a while to figure out what I was gonna say. I forgot for a while.
I feel you,
But
because Alex
yeah.
Jones got kicked off of
Yeah.
Twitter and everything, and now
Minister
now
Farrakhan.
I'm not calling him a minister. Louis Farrakhan.
Minister Farrakhan.
enough.
And a few other people.
Yeah.
That if you mention them, you get blocked.
Wow.
That content gets blocked.
On what? On where?
Facebook.
Well, and Louis Farrakhan's Twitter got unverified, which I don't necessarily know what the fuck that means. Because if you were following him before, that check don't mean shit.
No.
Alex Jones got taken off of Twitter. Because this is a calamity for me. Calamity. They're private industries. So I don't think your First Amendment right actually works for Facebook because it's a private company. But when it's available to everybody, and you allow the president, and it actually becomes like when courts rule it to be legal decrees,
Like
because the
public
president can
record.
say, does it stop being a private company at that point, and then it is susceptible to the First Amendment?
For Facebook or Twitter? For
Both.
both?
I
I mean, they're
think both.
publicly traded, so they're not really private.
But even publicly traded companies are still private companies.
They have, because any type of big company, they like say you have a late payment on your house or something like that. That information is sold. When you have say your creditor gets a collection, that information is sold, and that's why you'll get calls about debt consolidation. It's the same thing with Facebook. They're just selling it because that's how they make money, and they're greedy and they don't care about privacy. But it's private information. It's a public company.
But that's the thing though. If you don't pay your mortgage, they tell you it's going to be recorded. It's going to be recorded. Facebook doesn't tell you your information is going to be sold. They actually try to make it seem like they're gonna keep it and not do it. But time and time again, they've proven that that's not the case.
Yeah. I mean, if you get...
told you that with the ads that come popping up on here.
I was
'Cause I
walking...
can guarantee you right now, with you talking about that menstrual app, you're going to have some type of period thing pop up in your Facebook feed.
It better not. Period.
I kind of feel like has anybody seen Minority Report?
Yeah.
I have.
It kind of seems like that's what's going to happen one day. You're going to walk past a billboard, and it's going to scan your face and
Hello,
recognize
Rio.
you and have personalized.
There's some stuff they're working on that stuff
Advertisements.
already for
Here are a few
I don't know if it was
beers we think
Amazon,
you
but
might like.
where you walk in, because there's some stuff that like cryptocurrencies type stuff. There's some stuff you walk in, and they'll get your face and they'll see what you bought,
Wow.
and then they'll kind of recognize it and make suggestions for you, like by on an email or whatever, or ads,
Yeah.
or within the store or whatever. So there's already stuff like that.
Jeez.
But I'm down for one of those Minority Report screens though in my house.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Definitely
yeah.
is one of those.
Zoom in. Zoom in.
Like,
8 games at a
like when
time.
you're in the bathroom, be like, oh, you need more toilet
Throw that
paper.
away.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want one in
Oh,
the bathroom.
that's what I wanted to tell you. Okay, so when you were talking about paying Amazon drivers, so Jeff
Or
Bezos
just Amazon workers.
well, Jeff, yeah, well, they've adjusted their
too.
livable wage, quote unquote. But Jeff Bezos just created a new program encouraging people to quit Amazon, create their own delivery business, and he will give them $10,000 to start the business plus 3 months of your current salary. It's competition because you're trying. Because I guess they were having issues with their 1 day deliveries. Like as Amazon grows, the market has to grow, and USPS isn't growing, FedEx isn't growing, UPS isn't growing, right? So he's trying to create a bunch of Uber drivers.
For his company.
Yeah.
But if you can create your own private company
Yeah.
to do deliveries, that's kind of dope. Granted, you're a billionaire and paying somebody $10,000, but if you get 10,000 people to get $10,000,
That's a lot of money.
that's kind of dope. To motivate your own people to quit to create their own business and pay them,
Calculation, Rio.
that's kind of dope.
I feel like
Did you round up on that one?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's
Real
kind.
specific.
It's kind of dope. But
but he's
is it?
winning. He's winning in the end. I mean,
Yeah.
you know
Oh, for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
No, I know he's winning.
No benefits. No.
Yeah,
And-
No
he
method.
saves money. in
And
the
it's
end.
very hard. That's not a. There's a bunch of regular. It's a very hard industry to just like you can do small time delivery.
Is he guaranteeing that he's going to do X amount of
Right.
deliveries with each person that quits? Is
I don't know. I don't know
is
the-
he
I don't know the
establishing
yeah.
a business
Yeah,
connection with them. Or,
I'm assuming he
or is
does
it-
though.
what he's
If you're
doing.
gonna invest
trimming the
$10,000
fat.
pretty much
That's what
into
he's
the
doing.
person, he's definitely earning money on that.
Oh, he's not going to lose. He's a
Yeah.
businessman.
Yeah, but it's kind of dope still.
It's smart because it seems like a win-win.
yeah.
So that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
smart. I'll say.
It's
Savvy.
definitely not smart because there's a lot of dumb people in the world, and if you take that $10,000, you think you're gonna.
But all they have to do is not make that 1 day delivery. I'm like, oh, well, you're crap, so we're not going to contract with you
No,
anymore.
I'm not. I'm going further than that and just be like, oh, somebody's going. Oh, I'm gonna take the $10,000. I'm gonna go to such and such casino, and I'm
He's
gonna
not
try to
giving
turn
them.
that shit into $1 million. You know
He's
what I mean?
not giving him 10,000. I don't think it would work like that.
Well, I mean, I know, but there's gonna be people who try to do
Yeah,
that.
for
That's
sure.
what I'm saying.
For sure.
So that's all I'm saying is, I mean, because you were just saying about the Amazon drivers, and that
I was saying the workers. All of
I mean,
them. All of them.
yeah, I mean that's technically a worker still,
Yeah.
because he's trying to
Yeah.
get other people to quit his job. But okay, let's say hypothetically, say you're making minimum wage and not California minimum wage. Say you're making Nebraska minimum wage. I think that's kind of a step up though.
Working for Amazon or doing the driving? What do you-
Doing the driving. If your minimum wage in your state is $6.25, like the federal minimum wage, and you were working that way, and he was like, "Hey, if you quit, I'll put $10,000 plus 3 months of your salary." I mean,
Yeah.
I think it still depends on. They have.
You have to get
You
customers.
need business. Yeah, you need business.
I deliver pizzas like Casey Jones.
But then you can't.
Because you need the
Yeah,
product before
yeah,
he got
don't-
there.
Yeah,
Postmates.
pizza guys or pizza
Delivery.
parlors.
Yeah.
They deliver their own. They employ.
I don't want your
delivery
pizza
drivers.
from. You want your DiGiorno delivered to
Yeah.
me.
I'll pay for you to deliver some DiGiorno. I thought you were gonna bring some today. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
I think that's an enticing
It's just like asking them to be like a
it's
a
it's
DoorDash almost.
Yeah,
I just
but
want
strictly for Amazon.
I just want to see the after stories. Maybe 4 or 5 months down the road.
Of people who are delivering shit in brand new.
They're like, I got $10,000 from just Jeff Bezos, and then I had no business.
Yeah.
Or I went and spent that on some Air Force Ones,
and
I got a
working
grill,
at
and I went to the
Amazon.
club, and I got a bottle and bottle service,
Yeah.
and I got a chick.
And then I got her pregnant, and then we had to move out of Alabama.
I thought I was going to take it there, but you heard me get quiet, and I drifted off. I was like, and you're going to do this, and maybe that, and I just stopped, and she got it, though. Damn, I got mind control over Debo. She'd be like, shut the fuck up. I'll be quiet. So we'll go ahead and take a break. We'll do intermission, and we'll be back after these messages. Oh, we got boho commercial. It's been a minute since we had a hoe in here.
Oh, yeah.
Don't look at me like that.
Ain't nobody looking at you. Yeah, we're back after intermission.
This episode is brought to you by the Bad Kitty T-Shirt Boutique. Cute and sassy t-shirts, tank tops, and other boho-inspired accessories. With multiple styles for men, women, and children, everyone has a place at the Bad Kitty T-Shirt Boutique. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Welcome back to the Brilliant Mind. We are back. I hope you like that ad. Was that a burp?
I just bought something
My
on break.
stomach growled.
I bought some boho.
You brought some boho?
I bought some, yeah.
Dang, you bought
And
a grass skirt?
And you should too.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Grass skirt.
ain't that what
Oh,
boho?
shoot. I do actually have a receipt. Hold on. Who bought something? Thank you.
Go,
That was me.
Rio.
That was me.
He wasn't
Bless you.
joking. I told you about that grass skirt.
Oh, they don't have a grass skirt.
What
They
do
do have-
bohos wear?
No, I got like some scarves.
They got those.
Yeah, see.
See,
Who here's excited about Game of Thrones?
Oh, yeah. Get into your
what?
bag.
I don't.
Get into your bag. No, because I
You
have.
don't watch Ghost?
I watched the first 2 seasons.
not
it was
a
really
Gotti?
slow, and then I stopped.
I watched the first 3 seasons and I ruined the big battle scene for these guys.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, yeah,
spoilers.
He's a
Spoilers.
total
They're
asshole.
Gottis.
Don't tell me.
No, hold on. I was trying to bond with you guys though. In our time.
Yeah,
I
No,
was
there's,
fucked it
there's
up.
other ways you could do it. And you know I'm a parent. I don't watch shit
See,
live.
I didn't know that you were a responsible parent. I thought you just like, no, go sit down. Here's the phone. The Game of Thrones is live. I'm sure. I thought Rio had the burner.
No.
The burner Twitter handle. He'd be like, "Oh, I can't believe that shit happened." So when Arya killed the
You're
Ice
messing it
King,
up
The
now.
Ice King.
See, just,
no, that's 5 years. That's 5.
I probably haven't
episodes
seen
ago.
it.
You're not gonna watch it
I
live.
might. I'm on season 2.
It ends on Sunday.
And you said you stopped watching it.
No.
I might start.
You hear what he said? He said, "I'm on season 2."
Yeah.
He's like 8 seasons, but he was just
Yeah.
joking.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
He was just joking.
No, I've watched the first 2.
Yeah.
I'm on season 3.
I'm
Well,
not
hurry up
giving
and
you my
catch up.
HBO login.
Why would I need your HBO login?
How are you gonna watch it?
How I watch everything else?
You have the other stream.
Netflix,
Yeah,
Netflix,
you have that.
alternate.
Yeah,
Sunday-
Internet Flicks.
Internet.
Internet Flicks.
Who's that guy?
Oh,
So what do you? Hold on.
Who?
Shout out Kendra Perkins with the
With the Nipsey, yeah, with the
Yeah.
Oh, I
Nipsey
was
shirt.
just shouting out the other guy. I was just asking who
No,
it
but
was.
who? Yeah, I'm
And then
about to
you said
say,
shout
who
out.
is he?
because he looks
is he?
Mexican.
Shout out. He's
Oh,
on.
he
You
could be
made it.
Asian.
You made it.
He could be Asian.
Yeah, he's not Mexican.
It look. You know, if you're just watching this scene, it looks like that Asian Mexican dude. It looks like Kendrick Perkins is talking with like a crazy accent. He has to like watch his lips to try to decipher what he's saying. You're like, what the fuck?
All I know is all three of you had the same look on your face because I have no idea what's going on back there.
Because Kendrick Perkins, and we were like, "Oh, he's alive!"
But all of your faces
Kendrick
were
Perkins
just like,
Kendrick Perkins gonna run down on me. He'll come find me. Kendrick Perkins come find me. If they do a black version of like Adam's Family, he has to play Lurch. Kendrick Perkins is playing Lurch for sure.
You got the new Shaft movie out. You see that preview?
Yeah, I did see that. No, hold on. Since we've been gone,
Since we've been gone.
Oh, yeah,
John Singleton passed away. John Singleton, the director of Boys in the Hood, Friday, revolutionary director, the first black director to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Film. I think he's the youngest actor to win Best Film. I'm not sure if he did, but I think he did. He may have done Boomerang. I don't think so, actually. But
he did a lot of movies though.
I mean,
And some shows, I believe, also.
yeah. Oh, he was doing. There's a show on HBO that he was, or Showtime that he was doing right now. I want to say Snowfall.
No, that's FX.
I want to say
he was doing.
Yeah, I
Snowfall.
heard. I think he was
Did he do
a
Snowfall?
producer
That's
on it.
FX.
I
Yeah,
like Snowfall.
yeah. Season 3's coming out.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was over. I thought they weren't coming back.
No, season 3.
no, that's Game of
Nice.
Thrones.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
So I just want to say R.I.P. John Singleton. Give him his flowers. I mean, John Singleton wrote kind of my childhood. I think he wrote Poetic Justice or directed Poetic Justice, Friday, Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood is easily one of my favorite.
Did he do Minister Society?
I think he did do Minister. I'm gonna look it up right now. We don't even need to guess because he deserves the roster. Regina King also got a production deal. Shout out to Regina Queen. That's boo thing. I throw my whole life away for her. Hey, shout out to Google having the predictive text of John Singleton.
Thanks, Google.
I mean, he just died.
I mean, the fact. I mean,
Don't
A lot of
disrespect
people are
Google
probably
like that.
searching.
He just died. There's more searches.
Okay.
no, I hear
Makes it
you.
more
No, I hear you.
relevant,
No, I didn't say Google predicted it. My keyboard suggested it.
Oh.
Is what I'm saying.
Ah.
So he did Boys in the Hood, Baby Boy, dope movie, Poetic Justice. He was part of Too Fast, Too Furious. He did Higher Learning.
That was the one I was thinking. That was a good
Higher
one.
Learning. He did Four Brothers,
Oh, I do love
Shaft,
that movie.
the Samuel Jackson Shaft, Rosewood, Black Snake Moan. He was part of Hustle and Flow. He was part of 8 Mile, Beverly Hills Cop 3. Let's see what else we got.
Wait, 3 of them?
No. They should have stopped after 2.
So I just, like I said, I just want to say R.I.P. I feel like he is the nip of movies for black people. Yeah. I feel like he could be the revolutionary guy that nobody really talks about, but his movies are the script to my childhood. So
Just don't ruin the ending of all these movies for our listeners.
I only ruined the ending for one episode of Game of Thrones, and I was only because I was trying to bond. It was the longest battle scene ever in movies or on TV. And it cost $15 million to make that episode.
To film it in the dark.
I saw it, but that's because what you see right now is kind of bright. So I was actually able to see it a little bit. So that wasn't anything that was shocking to me. I've watched, I think, the first 3 seasons. I think I watched the first 3.5 to 4 seasons. What do you guys think number one, what are you going to do after this shit's over?
We don't know.
Wait for Snowfall to come out.
Wait for
but-
football?
Yeah.
Yeah, and football. But
gonna be a
Sundays are going to be rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
So let's talk about have you been satisfied with the season? Because that's been kind of controversial on social media.
I have.
I have issues
I,
with the Game of Thrones. We know we
Because
all have issues.
I mean, I definitely think they kind of played me with this Ice King.
You keep
Nice.
ruining
He's
it
got
for me.
he's got to throw a hand. I felt.
You keep ruining it for me.
Go in the other room.
You're in the other room.
Take your headphones off.
Yeah.
That
That's
should
not
help.
going to stop it. You can still hear us in
Still
real
here.
life. You're so pretty, Rio.
Shit at work. I don't ever do shit at work. The ride up and down
Goes.
these goddamn
That's what you
aisles.
get for being
Ride up
late.
and down these goddamn aisles.
You start
Don't
watching it
ever
at work.
do shit at work. I'm
Watch,
in here
listen,
just
it's
stealing
fine.
company time. I'm in here just stealing company time. I don't ever do shit.
It's the way he harmonizes. I'm just here stealing company time. And if you're actually watching the video while he's saying it, he's grabbing a blanket and a pillow and he's laying on the bench in the locker room. You think he got fired for that? Like,
He
no, I
probably
think
made
you're-
that on his last day.
I think you're doing really. I don't think you're a good influence on the rookies.
He was taking that $10,000 deal because you know that's an Amazon warehouse.
It is an Amazon. It looks real Amazonian.
Oh, he took the deal.
Yeah, he took the deal. Yeah, he
Took
took
the
the
bait.
deal.
He took the bait.
I don't ever do shit at
He
work.
Like,
took
I
the
ain't doing
deal.
shit
And I'm
anyway.
out, bitch.
I might as well take this 10 grand.
He's like, I don't do shit anyway.
I'm rich.
Oh man.
I'm gonna buy my Jordans.
Yeah.
Just stealing company time. I'm in here just
You know he sung this on the way out too.
Jeff Bezos might have given him the beat.
Yeah.
His
The beat,
personal collection.
He didn't give him the bees. The
No,
billions.
He didn't give
Billions.
those.
Oh.
We knew.
I had to make sure. B
I
was
knew.
episode 1. I had to make sure
No,
nobody's binge what.
exactly.
I didn't make sure nobody's binge listening, and they just heard episode 1 a couple hours ago. So you BK, you have an issue with the way the season has gone.
I'm just sad.
That it's over.
That too. No, just the way that they turned Danny's character into the one thing that she didn't want to become.
So you feel like that symbolism that white women can't be what they want to be when they grow up.
Not it.
Okay.
I can't stand that argument. It is so crazy to me. There are so many people that are legitimately upset about what Zero just said. And
What white women can't
yeah.
be what they.
Yeah.
Oh,
People
shit.
are-
They
I
are?
didn't know that's what you were
Yeah.
talking.
People are
I know. I was like, dang, really? I can't have my opinion about Danny? Goddamn,
I
Rio.
know, I was like, I know. That's why I was
I'm
saying that.
invested.
But you said you
No.
liked the season, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, that white women can't be where people are mad that people.
yeah.
All
people-
because of Danny?
yeah, people are.
No shit.
Oh,
Remember the
no.
tweets I was showing you?
Oh no, you're saying that it's they're trans. They're trans.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
I
no,
thought
I'll-
you were talking about like you were in the you were like your wife was like, you know, we can't be what we want to be when we grow up. anymore." In real life, not because of Game of Thrones. I thought it was completely separate from Game of Thrones.
Oh, like
I
changing
thought
the
you were,
topic?
yeah, that was like reverse racism.
No.
It's like, yeah, you know what? That is a real problem we're having. Let's talk about this.
That's why I'm saying you're like, the hell was going?
Put a pin in that Game of Thrones conversation. Let's
Yeah,
attack the real
we're-
issues.
Oh shit, my mind just got blown. Oh my goodness, that
Was it
shit is
good for you?
hilarious.
I was talking about
Oh.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So much more sense now.
Oh my goodness, I was like, well, do you? And looked at BK. In
I
my
still don't
mind,
know what I
before
wanna
you
be when I grow up.
summarized it.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the only
Man,
one
I
who
thought we
that.
just stumbled into gold just now. I knew we were going to be able to have fun with that. Oh, man. Now I'm disappointed.
So people really are upset
So
about
people
that?
in real life feel that way?
Yeah, so because because what they've done with this character, people are saying that it's that a woman can't possibly end up being in power at the end, or you know, like they're trying to relate it to things like that, and that no matter
Stop
how
it. It's just a
Yeah,
show.
exactly.
Put your big girl panties on and shut the fuck up. And don't spoil the ending.
No, don't put your granny panties on. Don't put those on.
What, your big girl panties?
Yeah, granny panties.
Oh, I just figured put your panties on, period. Not necessarily granny panties.
Gotcha. That's what I so No. So you both have different opinions. I mean, everyone's pulling up old clips of the actors and actresses that, as they discuss this last season, they seem disappointed with it too. So they're bringing that up. I've caught the last 2 episodes, kind of.
Spoiled one of them.
I did. And I apologize to you, though. I was like, damn, I feel bad for you guys. Because I ruined that aspect. And it was, up to this season so far, kind of like the biggest moment so far. So I feel really bad.
Yeah.
I do feel really bad.
One of those.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
He's one of those.
I was like, oh. And it was a really
And he's
black
like,
thing
no,
to say,
no,
though.
I didn't really say
was-
anything. I'm like, yeah, but I knew when it happened.
No, it was a black thing
As
to
soon
say,
as
though,
he said
too.
it, I was like, oh man. I was like, I knew it, but I was like,
I want to see it for myself.
Ghost, I said the blackest shit to him, too.
yeah.
I was like, Arya got the juice now.
Arya got this shit.
Arya
juice
got
now.
the juice now. I quoted juice to them, and I knew BK probably never saw juice, so she doesn't understand it. But I knew that Rio's like, oh, okay, so Arya like killed somebody
Yeah.
at the end, like, and then they were like, BK was like, no, I didn't see it. I was like, oh damn, my bad. And Rio's like, yeah, why are you trying to ruin shit for her? So I thought he saw it based on that. So I felt really bad about ruining it for BK. I was like, damn. Well, I mean, at least Rio got it. And then like an hour and a half later, I fucking forgot about. I still
And then
kind of feel
Rio
bad.
texts the
And then
group.
Rio's like, I can't believe you ruined that shit. I was like,
I wasn't as upset as the text read.
I mean, you gave
No,
me
but that was
hella
funny.
exclamation points,
Yeah.
so and you never put punctuation, so I knew
Or
you
all
were
caps.
upset. That's how I read it.
You
That's
were
how I read
yelling
it.
at a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's how I read it. So
All caps.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
no,
It
you
was.
didn't give me all caps because then he wouldn't be here right now. All caps plus punctuation.
That's
means
crossing the line.
Our friendship's over.
And then the next day, he was totally silent because he was in timeout.
I was like, honestly, I was like, because one of
Yeah, he
my
didn't
family
reply.
members came by, and they were like, "Oh, I want to watch it," and it was that episode, and I was like,
I can't watch it. I'm in trouble.
I feel hella bad, but them niggas is mad because I mean, you guys like
wasn't-
you like
I-
the show though.
I wasn't upset.
Oh, well, when you read it, I read
yeah,
it in my
no,
head.
it was meant to
yeah,
come off that way.
okay, I don't like that though.
I wanted you to feel bad for it because it was still fucked up, but
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, what do you guys think the ending is going to be? I originally thought Cersei was going to win because I thought they were just going to give you guys all the middle finger and she was going to beat everybody.
oh, I would have hated it.
I know, but I think it would have been like a hate to love it type of
Yeah.
thing. So, what do you guys think is going to be the ending of the show?
I got to see the beginning.
No, you saw the beginning. You just
I got to see the middle.
you got to see the plot.
I'm trying to figure out how to answer that question without ruining the show for Ghost.
Now, fuck that nigga.
Like
fuck him.
you didn't learn your lesson from the last time.
Yeah, fuck
Right.
him.
We're trying not to be
Nah.
you, Zero.
Like, I felt so bad.
This nigga missed the Seinfeld final episode and thinks we're gonna just wait for him. No.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest thing that's happened
Seinfeld?
in my lifetime. I think Sopranos is probably number 2 because Seinfeld was on regular television. Everything else has been on a paid subscription. So I
Big
think
Bang
that's why
Theory's
it's
over
harder.
now too.
Or
It's-
Friends.
Yeah.
I would say Friends is up there, but I think black people love Seinfeld.
They also love the Cosby Show. That ended. I mean, there's
No,
other
I hear
stuff
what you're
ended
saying,
that was-
but we can't say that anymore. He kind of
Fresh Prince and Martin ended.
Yeah,
Martin
but
was different.
Seinfeld was
No.
way bigger than those though.
It's bigger than those to people who liked it.
No, just to the world.
Yeah, I mean,
There was more people that liked that show than
Right, but you can't-
than Fresh Prince.
right, but you can't tell me I miss Seinfeld because I didn't care.
No,
about
I
Seinfeld.
know you. No, that's not what I'm saying. No, I'm saying you missed the equivalent to Seinfeld.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying you missed the equivalent to Seinfeld because it's
Viewership wise.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
For its time. Like this
Or
is the
it's
biggest
big.
thing. This is like it's like oh, I missed the Kawhi Leonard shot. Like oh well, nigga, you fucked up. If you haven't seen that shit in a highlight or something, that's on you.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. My bad, Ghost. I didn't mean to attack your person.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to slander you.
Seinfeld.
Like, you missed a Seinfeld episode, nigga, 25 years ago. I told you we should have went inside. You wanted to hit the drive-thru. 39-cent cheeseburgers. You ruined my life.
I'll miss those.
So what do you guys think is gonna happen?
I have so many theories in my head that
Just give us one that you like the most.
mine would be the same as yours.
I don't like that.
Auntie and nephew get married and everything's happy, because I've had so many bad series or so many good series end on such a shitty note that I need a good ending. Damn it!
What other series? Sons of Anarchy. I know Sons of Anarchy was.
I don't watch that.
I've never watched it.
How I Met
I've watched the first
I didn't
episode.
I didn't like how Dexter ended.
How I Met Your Mother.
Ghost. Rio.
So the way
Look at the smile on his face.
I know that.
I
He
can't
rubbed
talk
his
about
knees
it.
too. He rubbed his
The
knees.
way-
He was like, "Let me break this down to you."
The way-
1975, black and white.
the way I see this ending is I want Arya to kill Dany, and I want Jon to be the king.
You know what would be the best ending?
He has a bromance for John, by the way.
Do you? I kind of think he's
Yeah.
kind of soft. I know he got brought back, and I know.
I was like,
I just
kinda
when I see
soft.
him,
that fool is.
no, but when I see him fight, it's always the same thing. Kind of just goes like to the left side. It keeps doing the same move.
He's left-handed.
Yeah, but is anybody gonna like give him a jab step or a fake or something?
Jab step.
Yeah. You know
He's
what
the
I mean?
king of the North. He'll figure it out.
I would like.
He hasn't lost yet, so
I would like.
He lost once,
no.
but they brought him back.
They stabbed him in the back.
I'm just saying.
You feel
They
losing.
stabbed him in the back.
He should have known.
I think the best one would be
I saw it coming.
they kill John and Sansa, and then Arya kills everybody in revenge and becomes queen. Another thing that had the social media setting ablaze, Ayesha Curry went on the Red Table Talk, which I'm going to tell you, I throw my whole marriage away for Jada Pinkett Smith. So she went on the Red Table Talk and she said, so Steph gets a lot of gold diggers and groupies. Yeah. I think she actually said groupies. And she feels inadequate, or she just has like she feels bad sometimes because she doesn't have anybody trying to holler at her all the time. And then people kind of like roasted her, and then other people were like, well, she's human.
I think that's just being honest. Because people probably feel that way, but feel like saying it out loud maybe is selfish or wanting to step out or something like that. But just saying it probably, I mean, it makes sense.
I think
It's kind of, I get it, I guess. She's not famous, so I get why it's that way. 'Cause that's probably why he gets all the...
She's kind of famous.
She's famous because of him.
I mean, she is. I mean, she has her own stuff.
That's
though,
different
you
because
know?
of all of it.
Yeah, I know it's all because of him, but she's got. It's not like she's riding his coattails, though. She got her. You know what I mean? She got her. Know what I mean? She's not like Wendy Williams' husband, where we don't know what he does. That's what I mean.
He doesn't
Yeah,
do
man.
shit
like
at work.
she's not Stedman.
Yeah.
No, he's got money, actually. He's actually...
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stedman does what?
Oh, my bad.
Stedman,
Stedman.
I don't know if that's not because of her.
You don't know
what
why,
I mean?
but you know what kind of...
Stedman Incorporated, but it's ran by Oprah.
Yeah.
That's what I
She
do.
oversees operations for
A
sure.
subsidiary of Oprah.
Ode.
He's smooth in the house.
Shit at work.
This is the Stedman song. This is the Stedman song. That's exactly what he's doing. He's just in here stealing company time. BK is a good person to ask about this. Do you think that it's out of the realm for somebody to make those comments?
To feel neglected because they're
Not neglected. She didn't say neglected. She just said she feels away and is kind of self-conscious because nobody try attempts to holler at her in public or whatever, like Steph. Which I mean,
doing it in public, that's kind of disrespectful. So I wouldn't expect it in public. I mean, I'm sure Steph gets it in public just because he is a public figure. But I don't know. I don't see it as. I would think that would be more disrespectful on the street to holler at somebody like that versus sliding in the DM and saying, "Hey, I think you're really pretty."
well, I mean, she says she has no DMs too. I mean, she got a bunch of dick pics now, I'm sure, because you said
Right.
it. You brought the attention to yourself.
Feel better about yourself,
But-
honey. Have a dick pic.
What about you guys? Do you guys think there's a? I mean, I heard what you said, Rio. What about you, Ghost? You think that is crazy?
No, I mean, I think it makes sense. I don't know why people would be mad if that's how she feels. She's not
Yeah.
talking about acting on those feelings, so I don't really
Yeah.
see a problem with it.
I like it when a stranger tells me that I'm pretty.
You know what my bigger thing was? Would you want to be the guy who broke up the Currys?
That's what I was gonna say. I
No.
think people respect.
Who
I
wants to
think
take?
a lot of people respect. Steph
Yeah,
and
who wants to
Ayesha.
take Steph's wife and break up
Yeah.
that marriage? It's like breaking up the Obamas.
I think Steph has
Oh,
earned enough
yeah, no,
credit.
I don't do
amongst-
that.
We couldn't.
How you see him, it's just like almost untouchable. You know, it's not even
They got
like
that
a
love
rapper and a
magic.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
You probably think you can.
Yeah.
Because Steph's kind of a cornball, but he's a cool
He's like,
cornball.
and he's all American, like his all American guy.
He's
and-
just a
and you see
regular
their
dude.
relationship. It's not even. It just seems like one of those things you wouldn't even attempt.
He's just a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
So I think it says good things about them, but I'm still not mad at her for feeling that way.
I'm not mad at her feeling that way too, especially seeing her husband get hit on all the time. But
Yeah.
also, I just would never want to be the guy who broke up that family. You know what I mean? I kind of would feel bad forever. I feel like you remember when
Can
February
you imagine Riley at a post game
Yeah,
conference?
talking about her
Yeah.
stepdad.
Yeah.
And it'd be me. That'd be terrible. That'd be terrible. You remember when you were like, I don't understand what that fucking means when we were talking about February being the worst Black History
Yes.
Month ever?
Yes.
The Currys being broken up would be the worst Black History Month ever.
Oh yeah.
Them and the Obama.
Yeah,
administration.
that's
Yeah.
time to go.
Yeah.
And we'll also kind of, I mean, if you're gonna ruin the Currys, you might as well ruin the Obamas too. You might as well just take it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're both at the top.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that
They
was
already
another
took
thing that,
Venus.
huh?
They already took Venus, right?
What do you mean?
Venus Williams.
Williams?
Yeah.
Took her what?
What if? Because she's dating a white guy, right?
That's Serena.
Serena's married to
Serena's
the
married
Venus
to
is
a
right.
white
yeah.
That's
guy.
right.
I think
Serena's
Venus
married to,
is-
but he's a good dude though.
I think Venus's fiance is white.
Yeah, but Serena's husband, because they're married now. Serena's husband treats her like a queen. I think she was like,
Yeah.
she felt
Yeah,
like
he does.
bad, and it was
Yeah, he
raining.
does.
He just flew her out to the Bahamas with him. With the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She felt like
he
Italian
worships her.
one
He
night.
treats her like a queen,
Yeah.
not like Jay-Z.
That goes back to that rapper thing.
I thought everybody forgot about it. I thought everybody forgot
Nah,
about
there's a
him.
song about it.
I know, but they got it
You
out.
know,
and they're
Jay-Z
moving
mad
past
as
it.
fuck.
'Cause
She came out with
nobody's-
Lemonade and like, oh, it's over. And then there's like some podcast where a nigga was like, not like Jay-Z. I'd be mad as fuck if this clip ever went like viral.
After everybody forgot
Yeah,
it.
we're never getting invited to
Yeah.
the Rock Nation brunch
No,
ever.
Ever.
definitely.
It's never happening.
We're having our own.
Yeah. BK, you had an engagement ring shaming?
Oh my god. So I've had a couple I've listened to a couple radio shows where they were talking about, you know, what a guy is supposed to spend on an engagement ring, and the whole old rule was like 3 months of a guy's salary is what the amount of your engagement
That's
ring
not
is.
even a rule. You know Devon's created that as a marketing
I
campaign.
know.
Okay.
But that was just like the myth, I guess, that you were supposed to go by.
Oh,
Stupid.
like wet dog, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they had gotten on a topic of, okay, well, depending on how much your future spouse, as long as she says yes, is supposed to spend on it, and what's too cheap and what's more extravagant, and should a girl be mad if she doesn't like the ring that they picked out? To each their own on it. I don't think that there needs to be a lot, especially if you're young and just starting out in life, that a ring needs to be super expensive. But this article that I stumbled upon, this guy proposed to his fiance by cleaning out his brush and spinning it into a ring and proposed to his fiance with hair from his
No,
head.
but you said fiance, so she said yes.
Yeah. In the article, the hair ring was on her finger.
That's
Wow. I mean, that's the kind of woman you want, though.
Yeah.
maybe it's like an inside joke or something.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
But it just looked like, you know when you go clean out the drain in your shower, what that looks like.
That'd be like I saved up my belly button lint.
Yeah, it was
You
gross.
saved up your belly button.
Yeah.
Lint. If you're gonna touch that and spin it into a circle, that's way worse than your brush. That's way worse than your brush.
It's like a like you
it's
just
about
didn't, you
the
didn't
same.
clean out.
No,
the,
if you
Dandruff and who knows what.
Yeah, but you could get a ring if you got long hair out of like 2
like-
days. You know how
I know
long
that
you
means
have to.
I love you. That means I love you,
you've been-
girl.
This I started this one on our first date 5
Okay.
years ago.
So you
love
wanna know
you,
the-
girl.
Today I get to bring you this belly button lint.
Yeah. The second to worst
It's a part of me.
about the hair ring is that this one's just a temporary one until he can make a better one,
No.
still from his hair, like a hemp rope bracelet, how they braid it and whatnot.
Jeez.
That's what he's gonna do for
That's-
her ring.
That's crazy.
No, they're made for each other.
they deserve it.
That's-
That's,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if
I mean, if you say yes to that, I mean,
She's
yeah.
okay with it.
I mean,
so.
they belong together. Yeah.
yeah, like when
It-
remember when Brad Pitt left Jennifer Aniston, and he left her for
Angelina
Jolie, and then Angelina Jolie like kissed her brother and like walked around with like her dad's like blood in a vial around
You're
her neck.
getting
and
this all
shit.
kinds of twisted, but yes.
She's weird. Yeah.
No, she's a weird
she
bitch.
is
And
weird.
what I'm saying is, if you left Jennifer Aniston for that weird bitch who kissed her brother,
But now they're not even together either.
I mean, but he had a problem. He had a mental health issue, and he's trying to correct it. And
Oh, I
a
thought he
bitch who,
just had a drinking problem.
yeah, and a bitch who kissed her brother and wears blood around her neck is not the person you want to go to solve mental health issues. That's what I'm saying.
Is there any alternative ring that anybody would find even somewhat acceptable?
you know
Cheerios.
Cheerios?
A ring pop.
Give me those damn ring
I'll
pop.
give you a ring pop.
Oh no, that's only temporary though, because I'm eating that bitch.
Yeah.
You enjoy it,
Yeah.
and then you can give the answer after.
I'd rather
You
have
told you I
a-
don't want cherry.
Still better than it.
I'd rather have a
I told you.
dandelion ring than a freaking hair ring. Gross.
Is there a ring of something? I'm trying to think of like a
what would have
picture
been,
frame
or what would have been a less weirder option for him?
anything.
Almost
I
anything.
honestly think
anything.
Almost
anything.
anything else.
I honestly believe that nigga's broke and probably doesn't do anything but play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
He has to be poor. He's got to be poor to give somebody a hair ring.
Well, because my girlfriend and her now husband got into an argument over the cost of his ring. He just wanted a plain, I think it's titanium, regular wedding band, nothing fancy. But it was only $40 on Amazon. And he's like, no, this is the one I want. And she was, just appalled that he spent a good amount on her ring, that she should at least try to not overspend, but give him something a little nicer for his wedding band. I was like, no, if that's
Mine
what he
cost me-
wants, spend the $40 and get what he wants.
Mine cost me $5 at the old Sacramento silver shop, the one they're always giving out coupons for. And that's
And
not
they
a
flick
bit.
them at you. Oh no, that's
No,
Vegas.
that's not a bit. That's not a bit. That's exactly how much mine cost. I didn't even get it sized. It's still kind of big. I don't care. What's the weirdest thing? What's the weirdest thing?
I have no idea. Wood? Yeah.
Wood.
I got my husband a wood
I've
watch.
seen people do that.
I mean, He's old enough for sundial.
And-
So.
Instead of a wedding ring, though.
Oh, and I'm
ring,
gonna tell you
ring
this: in order to renew my vows, my wife's got to give me a rollie. Like she's got to propose to me. I'm not doing it without me getting something, and it's got to be. We got to go to like a Giants game, and you got to be like on the board. Will you remarry me? And
I don't know if
he-
you-
and I want to think about that shit too. Like, nah, we 10 in. Hold on. Chill. Hold on, let me think about this. Oh, Ghost. While we were gone, did you go to? I heard you went to Coachella.
No,
Did you come back with the herpes?
I did not go.
But
So
you
there
didn't
was
get
an
the
outbreak.
herpes.
There was an outbreak, Ghost. But did you hear?
No, I did. Not from Coachella.
Is that why you were late? You were picking up your cream at the pharmacy?
Same doctor.
Did you hear that there was an app called Herp Alert?
No.
And what they would do is they would just take pictures of the bumps and
No, don't
send
me.
it off like hymns,
Right.
you know, during like
Oh,
the games.
shit.
How it was like hymns,
Like,
and they'd be like, oh, you
Is
should
that
send it to a doctor.
is that a paid app? Because I'm not looking at
I
pictures.
I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about downloading it just so I could see the user interface. I don't want that shit on my phone. My wife would be like, "Oh, what time is it?" Just double tap on my phone and be like, "The Herp alert notification will be on my home screen," and I got some explaining to do.
Yeah.
I never want to be in the car.
Your results are in.
Click here.
Honey,
Now open
I'm
that
gonna
shit.
be
Nah,
late.
double tap it. Now double tap it. Like we had CarPlay. We took a vacation. We rented a car and it had CarPlay, and like all I had to do was hear one text message from her, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna unplug this. Nah. And it was her phone. And I was like, no, I don't want to hear this. Because next thing is, I was like, oh, your husband is trash, and then I gotta have her ruin her whole friendship with that person because of CarPlay. So I had to do it.
and in addition to that Rolex, I'm gonna need a Tesla too.
Yeah. You have to earn it now. That's what Jay-Z had to do.
Yeah.
You
That's what
keep
Jay-Z had
dragging
to
them
do.
through the mud again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he got it, though. He got it out the mud. He get it again. His wife just made $30 million in a day. Fuck him. He a king, though. My bad. My bad, Jay.
Don't
My bad.
apologize.
My bad. I ain't want to do it. It's the rock. Somebody put on there Gucci selling turbans.
Yeah.
Trying to make up for their fuck ups.
I don't know how you're making up for it though, because what they did is they put the turban on a white guy and sent him down the fucking runway.
Oh,
So-
Of
Gucci.
course they did.
Wow. Of course.
So they're
it
Aladdin
one of
comes
those-
out in like 2 weeks. We couldn't even
they're
wait.
selling turbans to white people now. And
Is it one of
it's
the like
just-
Photoshop though, where they just have the model there and they?
No, that motherfucker had a turban on. Yeah.
Oh, Gucci,
Yeah. He was blonde as a motherfucker too. That
blue
shit,
eyed.
shit was terrible.
How do you think he felt when he was walking, though? He was like, I got this shit. I'm killing
Yeah, he
this
probably-
shit. He was like, I'm killing
working
this
this.
shit.
Yeah.
This is my I'm gonna make my name on this.
Yeah, he was like, I'll just grow a beard. I could earn this character. If Ghost, honestly, I need you to be 100% honest. If Gucci comes out with the Chic, you get one?
No.
I'll tell you who is though.
Since I don't own one now, I mean, well, I'm not gonna get it.
It's Gucci.
It's Gucci.
It's Gucci inherited.
You know how many
No.
they would fucking
Oh
sell?
man, they sell them like fucking crazy.
Oh,
If they came up with a
shit.
Black Panther Gucci dashiki mashup, oh my goodness.
Mashup.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Don't take that shit. No. I own that. I copywrote that. It's been copywritten.
You
So don't copy
copywritten
me.
Gucci.
Yeah, symbol in the dashiki form. Yeah. And those colors
That's
too.
gonna be
Don't
the
yeah.
print.
Yeah, don't use those colors. No. I got that. If it comes out though, you know they gotta pay me royalties. Somebody from the Gucci.
It was like you better put a
fashion
time
houses.
stamp, put the date out.
This is definitely going to court.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
date?
Cutting out. I'm
May
cutting out all
18th.
that abortion stuff just in case my judge is a little
A little slanted.
A little slanted. So we'll end it right here. Man, thank you for listening to another episode of the Brilliant Minds of the Idiot Show. Man, you know what I mean? It's been good to be back in this venue and, you know what I mean, get another one under our belt. And hopefully it sounds good and I don't lose it and everything happens correctly so I can put it out for the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Don't
you can get
fuck it up.
Yeah, I'll try not to. It's not on purpose. It's not on purpose. So, thank you guys for listening. The tagline, you guys
forgot.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I was practicing today all day too.
Hashtag don't forget.
Yeah, stay woke.
Oh.
No, nigga, I'm sleepy. As usual, after actually last episode, you got the answers, and these brilliant minds got. No.
That's not it.
Yeah.
No, I'm
You need to
working on
write
it.
It was
down.
only last episode, but there's been some.
Yeah,
It's been about a
You've
month.
had some practice.
I have, and I blew it.
You want the answers, and the idiots got them. Is that it?
Yeah, you got the answers, and these brilliant idiots can't say it. Can't
These
say it.
idiots
Question.
forgot.
Yeah, no,
Well,
you can't say those two words that close together.
We'll be better next week.
Yeah, it would be better. Yeah, listen next week. We'll just listen next week. I'll try it over. You know what I'll do? I'll sleep on it. And I'll just add it after this.
There you go.
That's what I was going to say.
And I'm keeping this in so you guys
Yes.
know. I'm keeping the organicness and we're keeping it real. So enjoy the tagline ending now. And as promised with our transparency, I'm coming back with the tagline. And it's damn it, the world's full of questions and these fucking idiots got all the answers. Thank you for listening. And until next time.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.